I think it's the same as it's been all year. We've talked about every game this year being our Super Bowl, and this is no other. So this is just the same as it's been since the beginning of the season.
Tournament time, the best of the year. For some, dreams become reality. Others see the door shut. Where else do 6 months become 40 minutes? And hope rests with every dribble. The stakes are simple. Win or go home. Survive or drive. Barry's three is good. Give and go from Charlton. Step through. Two-handed slam. Half-court heave. Rose gets it to go. Right arc Nowitzki, the three is good. Oham's the follow and the throwdown. Do anything to extend your season. Let the chips fall where they may, because in March, anything can happen. Fordham takes the floor on A-10 Championship Friday for the first time in 15 years. The 8-seeded Fordham Rams taking on the top dog in the A-10, the Davidson Wildcats, at 25-4. Hi again, everybody. Nick DeLuca, Ryan Gregware, our entire WFUV Sports crew. So happy that you could be with us today. Fordham enters the A-10 quarterfinal as the 8-seed winners of 5 of their last 7 after advancing yesterday against George Mason. The mindset for this team has been to treat the tournament like any other game. Well, yesterday they did that by playing outstanding defense. Mason scored just 49 points and was held without a field goal in the last 5 minutes of yesterday's game. They'll need more of that energy this afternoon against the A-10's top seed.
For sure, Nick. And if you haven't been paying attention to this team, you may have been surprised coming back from double digits late in that one. But that has been what this team is all year. George Mason entered that game the 43rd most efficient offense in the country. They held them to just 6 for 27 from beyond the arc. We talk about, what they did those last 5 minutes without giving up a basket. That's what this defense has been all year. They're going to play their toughest no matter the circumstances.
Chuba Ohams has continued to carry the Rams. 9 straight double-doubles. Kyle Neptune talked about needing him to be the best player in the tournament for Fordham to have success. Yesterday, he was off to a good start with 20 and 16.
And they needed all 20 of those points, 16 in the second half. So he put them on his back, when they couldn't get buckets. Fordham didn't hit a 3 the last 11 minutes of that game. The game plan was to feed it inside to Chuba Ohams. He had the last 8 points for Fordham, all crucial in the win.
The Fordham offense got some big contributions from secondary pieces yesterday. Antrell Charlton and Pat Kelly combined for 20. When you match up with a team that can score like Davidson, that secondary scoring is crucial.
You are going to need all the help you can get, and you look at the starting lineup there. Quinnsbury not in it. He left yesterday's game with 15 minutes left in the second half, did not return. So we'll keep an eye on his status. But if he's not able to go, you need an Antrell Charlton. You need a Pat Kelly, guys that you don't normally rely on to step up yet again.
Kyle Neptune saying that we played them really close at home. Things got out of hand a little bit on the road, looking for more consistency from his group as they take on Davidson today. Coach, you take down George Mason to advance to the quarterfinal yesterday. Held them to just 49 points and without a field goal in the last 5 minutes. What allowed you guys to find that success defensively?
I think our guys, give all the credit to our guys, came out with a bunch of energy, as did they. And I think our guys just sustained that energy for the full 40 minutes. Really were locked into the game plan. So that's our goal. We accomplished our goal, win, lose, or draw. We want to come out and play as hard as we possibly can to follow the defensive game plan.
Chuba Ohams led the way again, finishing with 20 and 16. Knew you'd need him in this tournament, but how big was he down the stretch?
Yeah, we talked about Chuba being the best player in the tournament, and we feel like he is. And he's capable of having monster games, scoring the ball, rebounding the ball, also getting block shots. He can guard everybody 1 through 5. So to us, that's what he has to do for us to win at a high level.
Had some other key pieces step up as well. Antrell Charlton with 11, Pat Kelly with 9. What does it say about those guys to be ready to step up in a game like that?
Yeah, our guys have been building all season. We've had a lot of ups and downs with injuries and guys being out, and a lot of different guys have gotten key minutes, and it's kind of a blessing at this point in the year. We have a lot of different guys who have been in tough spots, so they're used to being there, and they've stepped up for us.
Take on the number 1 seed Davidson today, a team that you've played twice this season. What's the focus heading into the quarterfinal?
I thought we played them really close at our spot, and then the game got away from us at their spot. I still was, for the most part, I thought our defensive effort was where we wanted to be. They to give them credit, they did an unbelievable job defensively, forcing them to a bunch of turnovers, and we never really got in sync offensively. But that they're the best team in the league for a reason, but we're up for the challenge.
Coach, appreciate the time. Good luck today.
Thank you.
That's Fordham head coach Kyle Neptune ahead of this matchup with the A-10 regular season champion Davidson Wildcats, one of the most efficient in the entire country, top 20 nationally in field goal percentage, 16th in assist to turnover ratio, and 8th in three-point shooting. Lots of ways for the Wildcats to hurt you. 3 players in the A-10's top 15 in scoring, the ability to shoot it and work it inside. Their front court powered by the Conference Player of the Year, Luka Brajkovic.
And he is going to be the guy that 100% you have to look at locking down in this conference. He's top 12 in scoring, rebounding, field goal percentage, three-point percentage, and blocks. He can do it all on the court. You saw against Fordham this year, 18 points per game in those 2 games. So he 100% stopping him is the focal point for this Rams defense.
Davidson's backcourt, also one of the best in the entire A-10. Youngjun Lee, one of the top shooters in the conference, and Foster Loyer joins Lee in the conference's top 10 in scoring.
A very impressive backcourt for them, both in the top 15 in three-point percentage. Foster Loyer, you look back at that last time versus Fordham, was not healthy for that game. He returned last time out versus Davidson, 25 points, 5 threes. So it looks like Lawyer's health is coming along, and Hyunjung Lee 100% is a guy you have to look at stopping. Fordham's done a good job on him this season, but he can really get you 16.5 points per game.
And Fordham, who has consistently tried to key on opponents' top scoring options, figure Sam Meninga, who has been a key piece in both of the meetings between these two teams, will once again be at the forefront for the Davidson Wildcats. For Fordham, Rose, Colon Navarro, Charlton, Ohams, and Simbilla to start it for the Rams in the road. Maroon tops and bottoms, the script Fordham in white across the chest. Darius Quisenberry on the Fordham bench, not dressed to play today, so the Rams will go at the top seed in the A-10 without their best scorer this afternoon. Foster Loyer, Youngjun Lee, Michael Jones, Sam Meninga, and Luka Brajkovic, the A-10's Conference Player of the Year. We'll start it for Davidson in the home white tops and bottoms. The block Davidson across the chest in black, outlined in red, with the red collar to go with the black and red stripes down the side of the jersey and the shorts. It'll be Brajkovic and Ohams to tip it off. Up in the air, Ohams grazes off his hand, won by Charlton, and the Rams started. Rose right of the lane drive, high off the glass, it rolls in. Fordham, an early bucket, 10 seconds in. Kyle Rose, who was scoreless last time out against George Mason, breaks the seal.
And that's huge for Kyle Rose. We talked about, 0 for 3 last time out. His season low in shot attempts since that St. John's game. For Fordham to win today, he's going to have to be aggressive.
Lee, the baseline jumper, front rim off. Meninga, offensive board, back up, left it off left rim. Ohams, the right block rebound. 20 and 16 last time out, 9 straight double-doubles for Chuba Ohams. Straight on Antral Charlton, who had a big 11 points for Fordham to advance to this quarterfinal. Rams working the perimeter, a 2-0 lead. The bounce near side, out of the reach of Colon Navarro, out through the sideline, a Fordham turnover.
And those are the turnovers you can really prevent. You look when Fordham played Davidson last time out, they had 21 turnovers, their worst second half of the year. So smart basketball, make the right pass. There's no reason to do something, errant here if you're the Rams.
Foster Loyer across the midline, number 2 scorer in the A-10. Meninga stopping at the free throw line, right of the lane drive. Guarded by Simbilla, averaging 17 points a game in the 2 meetings with Fordham. Lefty hook, front rim off, foul called. Ohams motioning that he went straight up, but it was Simbila who will be tagged with Fordham's first foul. And Sam Meninga averaging 8 and 5 at a season-high 17 points in the last meeting between Fordham and Davidson. A chance to get the Wildcats on the board.
And here's what they are doing differently this time out. We saw Meninga 16.5 points per game in those two versus Fordham. He was taking jumpers. Fordham was peeling off of him, letting him kind of command the offense. Well, early in this one, he's taken inside, 11th in the conference in field goal percentage when he takes it to the paint. So him to attack there is how he can be successful in this one.
Hits the first free throw. The officials converging for a moment as both teams return to each side of the scorer's table, with the officials talking about making sure that the clock is in the right spot. Cal Neptune chatting with his team in front of the bench. The Rams looking for an upset victory this afternoon. Cal Neptune saying that played them close at home. Game got away from us on the road. For the most part, our defensive effort was where we wanted it to be. They did an unbelievable job defensively, forcing us into a bunch of turnovers in the February 26th meeting. Never got in sync. They're the best team in the league for a reason, but feels like his group is up for the challenge today.
And you look at that game, that second half, just 4 made field goals, 4 total assists in the game. So one of the emphasis, for this team is playing together. You can make the argument in that second half, especially versus Davidson. They didn't do so, so expect some better ball movement this amount. Now, they didn't have Quisenberry in that game. I don't know if that helps them, that they know how to play Davidson without them, but they do need to kind of gear it up when it comes to passing the ball.
Feel like they'll need the offense. The seasonal 45 in the last matchup, made just 12 field goals, 32% shooting, shot at 31% from 3. As Meninga grazes the second free throw off front rim. Fordham a 2-1 lead, a minute 15 into the first half. Kyle Rose straight on Antrell Charlton, guarded by Jones. Left arc Cologne Navarro, float for Oham's left to the lane, working on Luka Brajkovic. Waist-high possession, stop, A-10 stamp, rip away. The pivot foot, right arc 3 Rose. Too short, loose ball, Cologne Navarro throws it off Lawyer out through the baseline. Fordham will keep possession, but with just 3 on the shot clock.
And that's a really heads-up play by Josh Cologne Navarro. 3 seconds under the basket, you're not going to have time to set anything up, so just throw it off Davidson's leg and see what you can set up.
Charlton, the right of the goal, inbound. Cologne Navarro, step back 3. Well too strong, and a shot clock violation as it missed the rim.
And Cologne Navarro, another guy that you look at that last game, just 3 points, hit 1, 30 in the corner there. For Fordham to be successful versus Davidson, you need to get him going beyond the arc.
Davidson, top 65 in the NCAA in scoring. Fordham with some backcourt pressure. The float for Brajkovic, a foot in front of the midline. Guy who's hurt Fordham in both of the meetings between these two teams. Baseline pass for Meninga, working on Simbila. Left of the lane, backing down with 10 to shoot. The shoulder, Simbila with 6 and with 5. Meninga looking to give up, curling Lawyer. The long 2, banks off the right rim, and Simbila the left block rebound. Fordham has been good defensively early. A 2-1 lead over 2 minutes in first half. Oham's left of the lane drive. The shoulder shake, muscling through. Left it short. Head of the key rebound for Jones. Float for Lawyer across the midline. The acrobatic pass. Oham's a hand on it. Lawyer hitting the deck, and Antrell Charlton will pick up his first foul. Foster Lawyer with the float in the air to avoid the contact. Forces Charlton into his first foul, Fordham's second. Left to the goal, inbound for Lee. Brajkovic back to the basket, right baseline. Rams in zone with 20 to shoot. Straight away Lee, the righty runner, goes down. Young-Jun Lee gets the runner to go. Top 5 scorer in the A-10, 17 points a game. Their team leader in threes, averaging 20 over his last 5. Davidson 3, Fordham 2, 3 minutes in. Offensive foul away from the basketball. A moving screen called, and Fordham will turn it over for a second time early. Abdou Simbila picks up his first, Fordham's third. Both teams have started 1 of 4 from the field. Davidson 3, Fordham 2. 3 minutes in first half. The Rams trying to put together strong defensive effort. Straight on Brajkovic, left arc Meninga. Has room, curling Lee. The baseline over the head pass. Meninga the bounce. Brajkovic at the doorstep. Lays it in with the right. Luka Brajkovic with the easy 2 off the feed from Meninga. Davidson in front 5-2. 16:40 to go first half.
And that's how this team can really hurt you, because you have to pay so much attention to so many different guys. You see Fordham doubling, leave, and able to make some quick passes, set up something under the basket. That's what they're going to be doing all throughout this one.
Lefty Lena Rose, too short, claims the offensive board. Right arc 3, Cologne Navarro. Well short, Nowitzki and Meninga battling for the left of the lane rebound. It's tipped to the near side, Grant Huffman. For Davidson, Brajkovic head of the key stop, waist-high pass, Lee, right arc 3, is good. Young-Jun Lee with room, Fordham unable to get around the screen, and Davidson an 8-0 run with Fordham scoreless after the early bucket by Kyle Rose.
And one of the reasons Fordham had done such a good job on Lee, they just limited his shot attempts. 12 total in the 2 games. He has 3 early in this one.
Charlton, the lefty leaner, back heel off. It's Jones, the right block rebound for Davidson. 1 of 4 Wildcats averaging double figures. Meninga backing down, fall away from 5. The left rim is taken, and now Ohams has the board. Attacking, center of the paint, banks it in off the glass, plus the foul. Ohams, the jump stop through the contact, and Chuba Ohams has his first points of the afternoon to send us to our first timeout. It's an 8-0 run for Davidson. Fordham answering with a 2 by Chuba Ohams with a chance for 1 more. Davidson 8, Fordham 4. Just over 4.5 minutes into the first half. You're listening to Fordham basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, I'm Michael Calamari, reminding you to tune into New York's longest-running sports call-in show, One on One. Catch all the breaking sports news, hot takes, inside scoops from our beat reporters, and interviews with people around the world of sports. One on One airs every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on YouTube Live, and once again at night from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. on 90.7 FM. Want more One on One? Catch our Wednesday edition of the show, One on One nightly from 8:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Twitter and YouTube Live. Join the conversation and tune in to One on One, New York's longest-running sports call-in show.
Back here at Capital One Arena, Davidson 8, Fordham 4. 4.5 minutes into the first half. The Rams, 1 of their last 7 from the field after the early bucket by Kyle Rose. Chuba Ohams getting involved offensively for the first time heading into that timeout. The and 1 opportunity. Fordham knowing that they're going to have to get the offense going with how well Davidson is able to score the basketball, but a couple of lapses where Fordham has given some shooters some room that they don't want to.
And specifically Hyun-Jun Lee, because he is the guy that we just talked about, first team, top 5 scoring in the conference. He can shoot it over anything. He has the wingspan, he has the size to do so. You really do need to put 2 guys on at all time. Let him Meninga, let it Grant Huffman beat you, and he's gotten his shot attempts to fall early, 5 of Davidson's first 8 points.
On 2 of 3 from the field. And Fordham looking to be more efficient against a tough Davidson defense. Perhaps the part about the top-seeded Wildcats that is a little underrated. Fordham averaging 56 points a game in the 2 meetings with Davidson. Mentioned the season-low 45 last time out. But this is a Davidson team that has been excellent on that end of the floor, said head coach Kyle Neptune. They overwhelmed us in the last meeting, 4th in the A-10 in points allowed, and our 5th in opponent field goal percentage. Chuba Ohams to the free throw line, a chance to complete the and 1 opportunity. High arcing free throw bubbles in, and Ohams cuts the Davidson lead to 3.
And
They'll immediately check out. Pat Kelly comes in.
And in that first, match that you're talking about versus Davidson, Fordham got 36 from Darius Quisamary, so you don't have him as of right now. So you kind of have to throw that from the wayside and try to find ways as a team to piece it together.
Michael Jones back to the basket. Straightaway Meninga guarded by Kelly with room. Curling Lee at the top of the key. Bochi Edom the screen. Far corner shot fake for Huffman. Free throw line pass Meninga's near side three. Front rim off. Zach Riley clears for the center of the paint rebound. And that a better defensive sequence for Fordham. Meninga taking the shot.
Yeah, if you can kind of trap four guys and then let Meninga take a three in the corner, that is 100% what you want to do. He's just 7 for 31 from beyond the arc on the season.
Rams have started 2 of 8 from the field. Davidson 3 of 8. Back to the basket. Right block Nowitzki with 10 to shoot. Working on Bochi Edom with 7 and 6. Lefty up and under won't go. Nowitzki to follow the two-handed slam. Nowitzki his own miss, and Fordham is within 1, 8-7, approaching the 6-minute in mark, first half.
And that play like that is what Fordham wants him to do. Be aggressive, 2 hands to the basket. Don't go up soft. He's 6'10". He's a big guy. You want him using that size to his advantage.
Straight on Grant Huffman, guarded by Cologne Navarro, backing down Meninga with 10 to shoot on the block. Straight on Huffman, the 3. Back heel off. Nowitzki the box out. Charlton the board. Front court left across the midline. Fordham trails by 1, 8-7. Extra pass. Kelly, the long 2. Front rim off, and Huffman has the center of the paint board. Davidson out and running. A team that doesn't play with a ton of pace. The baseline drive. Too strong Jones. Follow Meninga. Lefty in off the glass.
Really good positioning there by Meninga in the perfect spot just to lay it back in and give Davidson the second chance bucket.
Davidson 10, Fordham 7. 6.5 minutes in first half. It's Charlton setting up the offense. Rams 2 of their last 10 from the field. Stop left arc Cologne Navarro guarded by Jones. Jump stop right arc 3 Kelly. Back heel off Lee, the left block rebound. Second on Davidson in rebounding. Front court left for Jones. Some traffic on that far sideline in front of the Fordham bench. Jones and Charlton getting tangled up, and Antrell Charlton's going to pick up his second foul early.
And that is 100% something you have to monitor, because with Antrell Charlton, he gives you really a little bit of everything, but the wing defense that he can provide, especially against a Davidson team that's top 15 in the country from beyond the arc, it's invaluable for Fordham, so they're going to need to find ways to keep him in this game.
Seemingly Charlton making the contact, but the Rams apparently a break. They'll call that foul on Zach Riley. Left arc Lawyer shut off by Rose. The handoff Lawyer once again returning from injury. Bochi Edom left to the lane. Up top for Desmond Watson. Working on Kelly with 9 on the shot clock. Back to the basket Lawyer. Rose the defense. The kick out Meninga long 2. Near side off the baseline. In and out. Nowitzki the right block rebound. Nowitzki across the midline, working on Meninga. Stop at the elbow, curling Riley. Straight away, Nowitzki left arc, left of the lane drive, inside, lefty off the rim, but a foul called. Rastik Nowitzki aggressive, working on that defense from Sam Meninga, and a chance at the free throw line.
That was a really good decision there to take it to the basket. Meninga, not really set in position, so he's able to, to try to drive to that lane, put up the bucket, unable to get it to go, but gets to the free throw line.
Nowitzki did not score with 4 rebounds yesterday against George Mason. 2 points in 8 minutes in the last matchup with Davidson. Eyes up the goal. His first is all net. 3 points in the first half for Rastik Nowitzki. Davidson 10, Fordham 8. 12:47 to go first half. Nowitzki's second is pure. Fordham hanging in early, trailing by 1, 10-9 Davidson. Left to the goal inbound in the backcourt for Desmond Watson. Fordham with soft backcourt pressure. Rose at the free throw line to float over to Bochi Edom into the front court. Far side pass for Watson. Lawyer setting up. Rose a swipe at the basketball. Lawyer able to get it away. Lawyer leans in. Rose the contact with his shoulder. And Kyle Rose will pick up his first, as Fordham is charged with another foul.
And these are the spots here where Davidson kind of empties their bench. Now, they do trust other guys, but Fordham is willing to let some of these guys take shots. We saw Watson last time out 0 for 6 versus Fordham. We've talked enough about Meninga. So when the second unit's in, it's up for Fordham to capitalize on the offensive end.
15 foul early. Lawyers straight away, the give and go. Straight on. Stops at the elbow, over the head pass. Meninga left block with 5 to shoot with 4. Backing down, double comes. Far side 3, Watson. Back heel off, Ohams battling for the board. Bochiedum called for an over the back.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about, Nick, because then you're able to double Meninga down inside. You can peel off the three-point line. You're able to live with that shot. Fordham does, and they're able to get the basketball back.
Davidson won of their last 7 from the field. Both teams struggling early. Davidson at 31%, Fordham at 25%, and with how high-powered Davidson is, that the game that Fordham wants to play. Zach Riley across the midline had 6 big points against George Mason yesterday. Left arc Ohams, left to the lane drive. Meninga the defense, double comes. Left it off the right of the rim, out through the baseline. And Davidson will take possession on the other side of this timeout. Ohams attacking, Fordham able to cut it to 1. Davidson 10, Fordham 9, 11:55 to go in the first half. Back to our Rose Hill studios, a one-on-one scoreboard with Dylan Balsamo.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Hello there, fellas. Folks, 3 other games in the A-10 semifinals today. After this one, St. Louis takes on St. Bonaventure. That's set for 2:30. Then UMass Dayton at 6 o'clock, and Richmond and VCU round out the day at 7:30. Elsewhere in men's hoops, there are conference tournaments all over the country. Some of the marquee matchups to look out for: Wisconsin faces Michigan State in the Big 12 quarters at 6:30. Kansas has TCU in the Big 12 semis at 7. Villanova faces UConn at the Garden in the Big East semifinals at 9 o'clock tonight. And the evening rounds out with USC and UCLA in the Pac-12 semis. That'll be at 11:30 tonight, Eastern Time. On the court in the pros, last night the Nets joined Ben Simmons in his return to Philadelphia, and they won big time, 129-100. Brooklyn beat the 76ers. The Knicks otherwise have lost 7 of their last 10 games, and tonight they'll have to face the Memphis Grizzlies, one of the top teams in the Western Conference. That game will be in Memphis tonight at 8 o'clock. Meanwhile, in the NHL, all 3 New York teams played last night. Rangers fallen to the Blues 6-2, the Devils lost the Jets 2-1, and the Islanders routed out the Blue Jackets 6-0. The Isles continue a long stretch of games tonight on the island. They'll have those Winnipeg Jets at 7:30. That's the one-on-one scoreboard. I'm Dylan Balsamo.
Thanks, Dylan. 11:55 to go in the first half. Davidson 10, Fordham 9. Slow shooting start for each of these 2 teams. Fordham 3 of 13, Davidson 4 of 13 from the field in the early going. Fordham making it ugly. That's what they want to do, but feel like the offense is going to need to pick it up, as Davidson is capable of going on a run at any time.
It's Fordham's bread and butter to make this game ugly, and we saw these parallels to the second time out versus Davidson, down 5 at half. Both teams under 30. Extremely ugly game. And what did Davidson do? They went on this run that you're talking about, that you inspected them. Fordham was out of sync offensively, couldn't battle back. So it's a good job by Fordham to keep us ugly right now. But what we've seen with the Wildcats all year, they can explode at any time, especially beyond the arc.
Making it ugly, something essential for Fordham. Davidson 21-1 on the season when hitting 70 points. Fordham has held opponents under 70 in 4 of their last 6, and would imagine without Darius Quisenberry today, will need to do that again if they want to try and advance to their first A-10 semifinal since 2006. Ohams the miss into the timeout. Davidson with possession after it rolled out through the baseline. Wildcats using that rotation, going 8 to 10 deep. With Luka Brajkovic, who is checked back in, a foot in front of the midline, straight away Bochiedum, A-10 stamp, righty runner, all net. Nelson Bochiedum averaging 2 and 2 off the bench. And out of the timeout, Davidson a 12-9 lead, 11.5 to go first half.
Bochiedum, more of a defensive first guy, but a nice move right there to hit the floater.
Charlton, right elbow stop, near side kick, Nowitzki The shot fake, baseline drive, in and out, contact drawn. And Rastik Nowitzki showing off the dribbling ability, going all the way to the rim, and we'll head to the free throw line.
That's the improvement in his game right there. Always seasoned Rastik Nowitzki. He's pulling that three. Instead, he makes a decision, pump fake, get the defender in the air, take it to the basket, nearly getting the N1.
Averaging 3 points a game over his last 7, has 4 already, make it 5 in this first half as he gets the first free throw. Davidson 12, Fordham 10, 11:20 on the first half clock. Sam Meninga and Grant Huffman will check back in for Davidson. Luka Brankovic and Nelson Bochi-Yeadam will head to the Davidson bench. Bob McKillop patrolling the A-10 Coach of the Year in his 33rd season at Davidson. Nowitzki off front rim on the first. Lee into the front court, pedals the baseline drive, adjustment in plus the foul. Miscommunication for Fordham in the backcourt pressure. Lee with the room and finishes plus the contact.
That's the aggression of Hyunjun Lee that we have not seen this year when he's played Fordham there, deciding not to take the 2, take it to the basket, hitting the shot and getting the foul. You figure as this one moves along, he's going to be a lot more aggressive than Fordham's seen in the past.
Averaging 17 points a game, top 5 scorer in the A-10, had scored just 15 points in 2 meetings with Fordham this season, rattles out the free throws, so Davidson's lead stays 4, 14-10, 9 minutes in first half. Straight on Cologne Navarro, wheeling left, straight away Nowitzki, defense from Meninga, over the head pass, Rose near corner, closed off by Huffman, the step back with 12, tries the 3, front rim off, Lawyer, the left block rebound. Lee, front court left, off the feed from Lawyer, straight away. Second in the A-10 in scoring. The Michigan State transfer yet to score in this first half. Floats it up. Meninga in and out on the finish. Oham's the left block rebound. Fordham into the front court. Oham's the no-look pass near corner Kelly. Oham's gets it back. Chuba with 3 points in this first half. Far corner Nowitzki with 15 on the shot clock. Working on Meninga. Baseline drive inside. Off the glass with the left. Rastik Nowitzki with 7 first half points. And Fordham within 2, 14-12 Davidson, midway through the first half.
Coach Neptune has talked on different occasions of Nowitzki making some of the biggest improvements throughout the year, and you're seeing that on display right now.
Right arc 3, all net for Foster Lawyer, who gets into the scoring column, a top 5 3-point shooter in the country. Has multiple threes in 6 of his last 7, and Davidson a 5-point lead, 17-12, 9:45 and ticking first half. Screen left Oham, straight away Cologne Navarro with 12 on the shot clock, head of the key, falling away, and a travel called as he flipped it up. Cologne Navarro leaning in, trying to draw the contact, but is called for the travel first. Fordham turns it over for a 4th time in this first half.
This is something you saw in that George Mason game. I thought they did a really good job of kind of trapping Cologne Navarro on the drive. One of the reasons he's kind of improved as a scorer throughout the year has been his driving ability. George Mason took that away from him, and Davidson doing a good job taking it away right there.
Between the legs dribble, Huffman straight away, guarded by Ohams. Davidson setting up the offense. The float Meninga left elbow, back to the basket with 12 to shoot. Straight on 3, Huffman is good. Grant Huffman, the sophomore from Aurora, Ohio, averaging 4 and 2 off the bench. Hits the 3, and Kyle Neptune wants a timeout. A 6-0 run for Davidson in the last minute. They've hit 4 of their last 5 field goals and are out to an 8-point lead. Davidson 20, Fordham 12, 9:19 to go first half, and figure there are some defensive adjustments that Kyle Neptune wants to see in that huddle.
And here's a bit of what we talked about with Davidson. They could go on a run at any moment. Now 3 for 6 from beyond the arc with how, kind of efficient they are there. Fordham definitely needs to adjust. Don't let them get confident. I think Fordham's done a great job this year of taking that element away on their end. They are always confident. Their defense leads to offense. But if you give Davidson the confidence that they can shoot the 3, they're going to keep taking them. And what we've seen this year, they're going to keep making them.
And for Davidson, coming into today, 8th in the country in 3-point shooting. Fordham fifth in the A-10 in limiting three-point shooting from opponents. Davidson early 3 of 6. That a mark that Kyle Neptune's going to want to see controlled a little bit.
And he's done a good job, and this team has done a good job in the 2 games they played Davidson, just shooting 8 for 40 from beyond the arc. When you talk about how impressive they are throughout the year, that makes that number even more impressive, because the last thing Fordham can do, Nick, is get into a three-point shooting contest. It is absolutely not their style of basketball. They have to be careful and be mindful right here.
Antrell Charlton is checked back in, playing with the 2 fouls. Trying to stem the tide on a 6-0 Davidson run in the last 47 seconds. Straight on Charlton, picks up his dribble to float, right block Nowitzki with 15 to shoot, lays it in with the left over Meninga. Rastik Nowitzki with 9 first-half points, and Fordham trails by 6, 20-14, 9 minutes to go first half. Far corner kick out, the 3, Huffman rattles in. Grant Huffman, the sophomore, a second 3. He's got 6 first-half points, and Davidson a 9-point lead, 23-14.
Huffman shooting under 30% from beyond the arc throughout the year. We saw he was the starter without Foster Lawyer, and a great efficient start for him.
Left arc extra pass, Kelly, near side 3. In and out, left block rebound, Huffman. 8.5 minutes to go first half. Davidson by 9, 23-14. Straight on Meninga. Lawyer gets free. The bounce. Shot fake to the dribble. Behind the back pass. Lawyer wheeling around straight on 3. Well off, and the left block rebound for Josh Cologne Navarro. Rams across the midline, trailing by 9. Straight away, Cologne Navarro. The step through over the head pass near side Charlton, working on Jones. The far side, Kelly extra pass, straight away Charlton. Rams working the perimeter. The jump stop behind the back pass, Nowitzki left block with 8 to shoot, backing down Meninga. Back to the basket, muscling through, Nowitzki lays it in. 11 first half points for Rastik Nowitzki. Fordham is within 7, 23-16 Davidson. With 7.5 to go in the first half. What an effort early on by Nowitzki. Free throw line, step back Lee. In and out, Meninga battling for the board, ripped away by Kelly, shovel to Charlton. Front court left, Fordham trails by 7. Straight away Charlton, between the legs dribble, pull-up jumper. Back heeling off, Lee, the center of the paint rebound. Davidson, 9 of 21 from the field in this first half. Crossover, left arc 3, Lawyer. Front rim off, Lee, offensive board, tipped by Kelly. Out through the baseline. Davidson will keep it with a fresh 20 on the shot clock. 7:01 to go in the first half. Davidson 23, Fordham 16. You're listening to Fordham Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Bright here, Nick's beat reporter for WFUV Sports. New York basketball is here, and you don't want to miss a thing about your favorite team. So make sure you're following us on Twitter at WFUV Sports to get the inside scoop for all things Knicks. We've got you with updates before, during, and after the game, from the press conferences and the action itself. We also post game recaps on all of WFUV Sports' social channels, as well as on our YouTube page. And to hear sound bites and deeper analysis on the team and the league, be sure to check out WFUV's weekly podcast, Pick and Pod, on all platforms you get your favorite podcasts. Go Knicks!
.701 to go first half. Davidson 23, Fordham 16 from Capital One Arena in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And Fordham, trailing by 7, has gotten 11 points in this first half from Rastik Nowitzki. Unfortunately, they're trading 2s for 3s.
And they've needed all 11 and then some. 11 of 16 for the game. I don't know where Fordham would be without this career high in 13 minutes from Rastik Nowitzki. But, yeah, you have to look at the defense now, because we've talked about the wariness of making this a three-point shootout. Well, Davidson, they're, continuing to fire away from beyond the arc. Fordham's done a good job inside, but Fordham can't afford to trade 2 for 3, not with their offense, not the way they've shot the basketball this year. So on defense, I think that's what this timeout is more about. Get back the attention to detail, get back to the scouting report that's made you so successful defending Davidson's 3 this season.
Davidson 4 of 9 from long range in this first half. Fordham Started 0 of 6 from downtown, seeing if they can't pour in a couple to try and close the gap. Taking on the top seed in the A-10, the Davidson Wildcats. Rebounding, also something to pay attention to, especially with the way that Fordham has shot the basketball this season. Davidson third in the A-10 in rebounding margin, denying opponents in extra opportunities. Led the conference in defensive rebound percentage. Fordham has double-digit offensive rebounds in 3 of 4. They combined for just 14 in the first 2 meetings with Davidson and are winning the rebounding battle 15-13 here in the first 13 minutes.
And what's most key about that Davidson defensive rebounding stat is what it allows them to do is push it in transition. We saw in that second meeting one of the reasons they were so successful, they were getting Fordham's misses, pushing them up the court, hitting quick threes. We've seen a little in this, I think, when Foster Lawyer's getting the ball, he's looking to push it. So for Fordham, he needs to do a great job commanding the glass.
Riley, Nowitzki, Ohams, Rose, and Cologne Navarro. The 5 for Kyle Neptune out of the timeout. Right arc 3, Jones. Back heel off. Lee battling for the board. And a foul called on Zach Riley, looking to chase down the loose ball on the far side, and Kyle Neptune can't believe it. It's the 17th foul, so it will send Hyunjun Lee to the free throw line. Davidson in the bonus at the 6:55 mark of the first half. Already leading by 7, and Lee, the first free throw is good.
And there was a point late into this year where Lee was shooting 90% from the free throw line, so not the guy you want to send. We saw Fordham have their season high in personal fouls last time out versus Davidson, sent them to the line a ton. That is something Fordham is going to have to try to prevent here today.
Lee all net on a pair, and Davidson a 9-point lead, 25-16. Cologne Navarro straight away. The stop for Ohams up top. Float Nowitzki, right block. Double team comes. Nowitzki, the pass swatted away by Jones. Reclaims right arc with 15 to shoot. Steps back. The 3 is good. Restic Nowitzki with 14 first half points. He can do no wrong. And Fordham within 7, 25-18. 6.5 minutes to go in the first half. Stopped by Bochi Edom at the free throw line. Riley the defense looking to set up Lee. The baseline bounce. Nowitzki comes with the left block double team. Hesitation. Watson traveled center of the paint. Rastik Nowitzki with the help, getting it done on both ends of the floor today.
Nick, I wasn't sure we'd see the day where a team brought a double on Rastik Nowitzki, and it didn't work. Him able to step back, hit that shot you talked about, he could do no wrong. He's doing all things right for the Rams.
Nowitzki will take a seat. Abdou Simbila will come in. Josh Cologne Navarro roaming left arc to a wheeling Kyle Rose. Between the legs dribble, guarded by Desmond Watson. Ohams up top working on Jones. The righty fall away. Front rim and off, but a foul called. Jones will be tagged with the personal. Bob McKillop looking for a better explanation from the officials on the far side. Ohams, who's got just 3 points on 1 of 3 from the field in the first half, is set to head to the free throw line as the officials will pause for a moment to take a look at the scorers table.
Well, that right there from Chuba Ohams, that is the aggression you want to see. A season high in shot attempts with 20 last time out. This offense runs through him when it's playing at its best. Obviously, with no Quisenberry, you don't have that guy to throw to on the perimeter. But for him to just have 3 shots, I know Rastik Nowitzki's taken a lot of shine in the paint. But for this team to be successful, they ride Chuba Ohams all the way. He's going to have to find a way to get it going.
Officials checking to see whether the foul occurred in the act of shooting or whether it would be called on the floor. It was Davidson's 5th team foul, but the Jones personal called in the act of shooting, so Chuba Ohams will head to the free throw line. Fordham 4 of 5 from the stripe today, and Ohams, who has 9 straight double-doubles, 3 and 4 in this first half, trying to get more involved offensively. Couple of bounces for Ohams. The bend of the knees. Rainbow free throw is good. Davidson 25, Fordham 19, 6:05 to go first half. Charlton in, Cologne Navarro out.
And Oham's that time, versus George Mason just yesterday hit 2 big free throws to extend the lead to 5. Pat Kelly missed the front end right before, so for him to kind of get it going at the free throw line, when he gets there, a ton is going to be crucial for the Rams.
Oham's front rim and off on the second. Wouldn't have mattered. Kyle Rose called for a lane violation. So 1 out of 2 for Oham's. Fordham trails by 6, 25-19. With 6 minutes to go in the first half. Davidson, their last 4 from the field. Haven't scored in 3 minutes. Butchie Edom straight away. Jones on the far side. Over the head pass. Watson, right elbow jumper rattles in. Desmond Watson in rhythm. And Davidson has the bucket to extend the lead back to 8, 27-19. 5.5 minutes to go in the first half.
Watson just 1 for 11 on the season versus Fordham, throughout the year. So he's a guy Fordham's willing to let shoot and makes them pay right there.
Left of the lane drive, Oham's working on Jones. The left baseline double team comes with 8 and 7. Oham's flips it up and it rolls in. Chuba Oham's to 6 first half points, getting the bucket. Fordham trails by 6, 27-21. 5 minutes to go in the first half. Up top, Butchie Edom, right elbow jumper. Watson nails the catch and shoot. Desmond Watson open from the right elbow. Living in the mid-range. Davidson by 8, 29-21. 5 minutes to go first half. Fordham, 5 of their last 7 from the field. Foul away from the basketball. Watson tangled up with Rose as he falls to the floor on the right arc. Watson picks up his first. And Davidson 6th. Rams will inbound it from the far sideline. Riley, Oham's, Charlton, Rose, and Nowitzki, the 5 on the floor for Kyle Neptune after the whistle and the foul. Rose will float to the backcourt over the shoulder, catch by Antrell Charlton. 15 on the shot clock as he walks it across the midline. The defense from Huffman. Screen left from Oham's. Stop with 10 to shoot at the elbow. Near corner kick out Riley. The baseline drive. Lost the handle. Straight on 3 Charlton. Front rim off. Nowitzki battling for the board, and it's called for the loose ball foul. Lawyer the box out. And Nowitzki will pick up his first, and it's Fordham's 8th. Sending Foster Lawyer, the top free throw shooter in the entire country, at 94% to the line.
Yeah, very clearly the last guy in the country you want to send to the line for Nowitzki. I think that's the next step in his game he has to take, because he is 10 inches on Foster Lawyer. There's no reason, you should be getting called for that foul there. He has to be smarter at using his body to his advantage to grab it there. Not so much, and Lawyer hits the first.
Lawyer hits the first. He broke Steph Curry's record for consecutive free throws made with 46 in a row this season. He's in and out on the second, and a loose ball foul called on Davidson. Sam Meninga will pick up the loose ball foul. It's the 7th on Davidson. So Fordham in the bonus with 4:35 remaining in the opening half, trailing by 9, 30-21, and Chuba Oham's heads to the free throw line.
Yeah, and this is a chance for Fordham when you haven't been able to, shoot it great. Still haven't hit a 3, just 36% from the field. If you have opportunities at the free throw line, get free points against a Davidson offense who's going to keep scoring. You have to take these opportunities and run with them if you're Fordham.
Oham shooting 1 and 1, his first. Back heel off, and Meninga, the center of the paint rebound. Empty trip for Chuba Ohams to the line. Straight away, Grant Huffman guarded by Riley. Flip for Meninga straight away. Defense from Ohams, a foul away from the basketball. It'll go to Antrell Charlton. The swipe on Michael Jones, and that the 3rd from Antrell Charlton in the first half.
And that's key because, one, you're sending Davidson to the free throw line, but more importantly, Antrell Charlton getting into serious foul trouble here. Fordham, I talked about how, versatile he is. He does a little bit of everything. The defense, huge 11-point second leading score last time out. So now without him, without Darius Quisenberry, Fordham even more empty-handed.
Jones, 1 of 4 Wildcats, averaging double figures, 12 points a game on the regular season. His first free throw is good. At a season low 4 points in the January meeting with Fordham, but 12 in the last matchup puts Davidson in front by 10, 31-21. 4:24 to go in the first half. The second from Jones bubbles in. It's the largest lead of the first half for Davidson. That's 11, 32-21, the final 4:20 of the opening half. Straightaway Cologne Navarro, left of the lane drive, all the way to the basket. The fall away, in and out. Jones, the underneath the basket rebound. Mike Jones, front court right, wheeling around the screen. The baseline runner blocked away by Nowitzki. Riley pushing into the front court. The drop off for Rose. Step back on the right arc, now setting up the offense. Screen left from Ohams, right arc three. Riley misses everything. Jones, the loose ball on the weak side. Jones across the midline, near side. It's Watson. The pull-up jumper is good. 6 first half points for Desmond Watson, the freshman from Columbus, Ohio. And Davidson extends the lead to 13, 34-21. It's a 7-0 Davidson run.
And that's exactly what they want to do. And Fordham misses on the other end, push it in transition, get a chance to catch Fordham off guard, and Watson did right there.
Straightaway Cologne Navarro, near corner three, Riley. Back heel and off. Cologne Navarro, the loose ball, extra possession for Fordham. Straightaway stop, Cologne Navarro, over the head pass, backing down Ohams, bowling over. Meninga falls to the floor, and an offensive foul. Ohams ruled for the charge. And that'll be his first, and a tough call as Fordham turns it over. It's a 7-0 Davidson run. The Rams haven't scored in the last 2.5 minutes. Davidson 34, Fordham 21. 3:10 to go first half. Back to our Rose Hill studios for a one-on-one scoreboard with Dylan Balsamo.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Friends, after Nick and Ryan sign off, there will be 3 other games in the A-10 semis. St. Louis has St. Bonaventure at 2:30. Then tonight, look out for UMass Dayton at 6 o'clock and Richmond VCU at 7:30. Elsewhere in the land, turn on your television and find a plethora of conference tournaments matchups. Some games to look out for. Wisconsin faces Michigan State in the Big 12 quarters at 6:30. Kansas has TCU in the Big 12 semis at 7. Villanova faces UConn at the Garden in the Big East semifinals at 9 o'clock. And the evening rounds out with USC and UCLA in the Pac-12 semis. That'll be at 11:30 tonight, Eastern Time. On the court in the pros, the Knicks have looked better of late, winning their last 3, and tonight they'll have to face a test of the second place in the Western Conference, Memphis Grizzlies. That game will be in Memphis tonight at 8 o'clock. Meanwhile, in the NHL, the Isles continue a long stretch of games at the UBS tonight. They'll have the Winnipeg Jets at 7:30. Oh, and just a reminder, there will be baseball this season. The lockout ended with a new deal yesterday. Spring training camps are starting up immediately, and a free agent frenzy is sure to ensue. Oh, what a lovely spring it will soon be. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Dylan Balsamo.
Back here from a fifth-filled Capital One Arena here in Washington, D.C. The navy blue seats surrounding the wood finish court. The black, white, and red A-10 championship logo at midcourt. Fordham and Davidson with the Wildcats in front by 13, 34-21 in the final 3 minutes and 10 seconds of the first half. Fordham has been on the wrong end of a 7-0 Davidson run recently. The offense for the Wildcats that has been atop the best in the country, certainly atop the A-10, has given Fordham trouble, and if the Rams want to be competitive in this game, they're going to have to find an answer on that end of the floor.
They have to figure out what they want to do, because you're going to get if you want to let guys shoot, they have to miss the shots, right? So Watson now, they have let him shoot 3 pull-up jumpers. He's drained all of them. He's up to 6 points. And if Fordham on the offensive end is going to try to make this a 3-point contest, it's not going to work. They've taken 9, missed all of them. Davidson's taken 10, so they can't try to match them there. You look at the George Mason game, they were able to be successful down the stretch, not taking the 3, pounding it inside to Truba Ohams. Rossi Nowitzki, when he was in this game, he was taking it inside, being successful. So I think that's what you have to do on offense. If you do that, you can get set on defense. Do more what you want to do on that end of the floor.
And know that it's not Fordham's forte as they work inside with Ohams and Nowitzki, who have combined for 19 of the Fordham 21 points. But the Rams They've shot at 0 of 9 from 3 today and feel like if they want to pull off an upset, that number's going to have to improve pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about you want them taking inside, but you have to hit threes to win games, especially against Davidson. So the 0 for 9 simply won't cut it.
Desmond Watson, 6 first-half points across the midline. Screen right Meninga, stop at the elbow, straight away to a curling Huffman. Defense from Riley, left to the lane drive. Free throw line jumper, Watson is good. 8 first-half points, the catch and shoot. Watson has been money in this first half.
And there it is again, letting Watson take the shot. That was more, off a screen, off the ball, but Watson connects yet again.
It's a 15-point Davidson lead. Step back 3 rows. Too short, baseline, loose ball for Meninga. Davidson, a 9-0 run. The float for Watson along the baseline. Too far over the head from Huffman. Now to the baseline. Fordham with possession back after the Davidson turnover.
And a little too much on that pass by Davidson, but you're seeing they're continuing to push the basketball, try to catch Fordham off guard. It's worked thus far. So for Fordham, the best way to combat that is hit your shots and don't let them be able to push it off a miss.
Chuba Ohams is checked out. Rastik Nowitzki comes back in. Fordham, a scoring drought of 3 minutes or their last 5 from the field. Right arc for Rose, 15 to shoot. Waste time possession. We're going to free up Nowitzki. Stop A-10 stamp. Back to the basket. Rose muscles through. Won't go. The follow. Thrown down by Kelly. Two-hand flush by Pat Kelly, who has his first points today. Fordham trails by 13, 36-23. Final 2 minutes of the first half and a foul away from the basketball. Kyle Neptune pacing along that Fordham bench. Not in love with that call, and with Fordham in the penalty, it will send Davidson once again to the free throw line. It's the 10th team foul, so Sam Meninga will shoot 2.
And now the third on Zach Riley. It looked like on that play he just carried the body a little too much. A good screen by Meninga, who now gets a chance at the free throw line.
Riley with his third foul. First goes down for Meninga. Antrell Charlton also sitting on the Fordham bench at the moment with 3 fouls. Rams playing without Darius Quisenberry. Feel like they are running thin in the backcourt. Second good for Meninga. Davidson, a 15-point lead, 38-23. Final 150. Now the first half. Josh Colon-Navarro across the midline has not scored on 0-4 from the field in his first half. Had just 3 against George Mason. 15 to shoot. Stop at the A-10 stamp. Possession poked away. Reclaims left of the lane with 10. Rose at the left arc. Defended by Lee with 7, with 6. Drives high off the glass. Rolls off, but a foul called. Kyle Rose attacking. And at the end of the shot clock, draws the foul. We'll head to the free throw line.
Yeah, Kyle Rose scoreless last time out, taking 6 shots in this one, just 2 points. But you need him to keep taking shots because he's an efficient guy, 34% from threes. Drove the last few possessions, and if Fordham wants to come back in this one, you need secondary scoring, and there's no one more reliable on that end, typically, than Kyle Rose.
Rose, the first, front rim and off. As Fordham can't capitalize, setting to the free throw line. One more upcoming for Rose as Cam Cunningham is checked in for Fordham amidst the foul trouble. Zach Riley will head out. Nowitzki, Kelly, Colon-Navarro, and Rose to go with Cunningham, the 5 on the floor for the Rams. Second good for Rose, and Fordham trailing by 14, 38-24. Lawyer on the far side, left of the lane, spinning around with 15 to shoot. Huffman straight away, the give and go. Meninga back to the basket, left arc with 10 and 9 on the shot clock. Stop A-10 stamp, fall away from 6, front rim off. Cunningham clears with the underneath the basket rebound. Colon-Navarro front court left, wheeling right, over the head pass, left arc 3. Kelly was tipped underneath the basket, loose ball. Cunningham on the floor, rips it away. And possession will stay with Fordham.
Really good, effort there from Ken Cunningham, a guy who hasn't played a ton recently. What we know about him, though, he's an athlete. So you look in this game, down 14, you need a spark, and he's a guy that possibly could give it to Fordham.
Cunningham just 2 points since February 12th. See if he can make an impact today. Straight away Cologne Navarro with 12 to shoot in 11, 45 seconds to go first half. Hit pocket possession, cross court, Cunningham with 6 and with 5, step back 3. Front rim off, center of the paint rebound Huffman. Davidson the basketball up by 14. With a 7-second differential between shot and game clock. Fordham won their last 8 from the field. Davidson 38, Fordham 24. Jones, waist-high possession, a foot in front of the midline. Right of the lane, righty runner. Goes down. Michael Jones around the screen has 4 first-half points. Fordham trails by 16. Cologne Navarro across the midline stripe with 6 and with 5. Nowitzki right arc. Stop at the free throw line. The stride knocked away. Follow rolls off the front of the rim. And that will conclude matters in this first half. Davidson finishes the opening 20 minutes. 5 of their last 7 from the field. Fordham just 1 of their last 10 on their way to a 16-point first half advantage. Fordham getting 13, a career high from Rastik Nowitzki, 6 from Chuba Ohams, but shoot it 0 of 12 from 3 in the first half and just 9 of 32 overall. And for Davidson, 4 of 10 from downtown, getting 9 from their top 5 scorer in the A-10, Yunjun Lee. And Desmond Watson adding 8 to pace Davidson in that first half. Davidson 40, Fordham 24 after the first 20 minutes from Capital One Arena. Back to our Rose Hill studios for the one-on-one halftime report.
The one-on-one halftime report.
Welcome in to our Rose Hill studios. MIke Calamari here, along with Dylan Balsamo. Fordham trailing 40-24 to the Davidson Wildcats in the Atlantic 10 quarterfinals. Not the way Fordham wanted things to go, missing 1 out of their last 11 field goals. We're going to get to all of the action from the first half and our thoughts in it. But first, a one-on-one scoreboard with Dylan Balsamo.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Hello there, Michael. Right after this game, there will be some more, 3 exactly, today in the A-10 semifinals. St. Louis has St. Bonaventure at 2:30. Then tonight, you can look out for UMass Dayton at 6 o'clock and Richmond VCU at 7:30. Elsewhere across the country, turn on your TV, and you're bound to find a college basketball game somewhere as conference tournament play rolls on. Some games to look out for. Wisconsin plays Michigan State in the Big 12 quarterfinals at 6:30. Kansas has TCU in the Big 12 semifinals at 7. Villanova and UConn tonight at the Garden in the Big East semis at 9 o'clock. And tonight, USC-UCLA in the Pac-12 semifinals. That'll be at 11:30 Eastern time tonight, so stay up for that one. On the court in professional basketball, the NBA in particular, the Knicks have looked better of late. They've won the last 3 games, and tonight they'll have to face the Memphis Grizzlies, second-place team in the Western Conference. That game will be in Memphis tonight at 8 o'clock. And meanwhile, in the National Hockey League, the only New York team playing tonight is the Islanders, who won last night. Continue a long stretch of games at the UBS Arena. They'll have the Winnipeg Jets tonight at 7:30. And just to remind you once more, the baseball lockout is over and the season will start on April 7th and still be a full 162 games. MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred said he, quote, felt a great weight during the negotiation process. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Dylan Balsamo.
Thank you, Dylan. Time to get into some Fordham men's basketball. Like I said, trailing Davidson by 16 points. I think if you asked any Fordham fan, a player, someone who's been watching the team this season, this is exactly not what you wanted. Dylan, I'm going to bring you in now. What are your thoughts on this first half, just watching the game, listening to it? What do you think has gone wrong for Fordham early in this one?
Well, as you mentioned, Michael, it's not what you want, and thanks for having me on. Always appreciate it.
Of course.
It is not what you want, but then again, you look at this Fordham team, and more specifically, you look at this number 1 seeded Davidson team in the Atlantic 10 Conference, and it perhaps is, again, not what you want, but really what you might expect. This Davidson team is, for lack of a better way of saying it, they're really just outplaying Fordham at this point, and that's to be expected at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this Davidson team, they're 8th in the NCAA in three-point shooting percentage. They've got a bunch of guys that can hit threes and get to the line, hit free throws. They've just got so many scoring threats, and I think Fordham's done a pretty good job of guarding them at the line, but you have to give credit for Davidson hitting their shots. They're doing an exceptional job, 4 for 10 from three. They're also shooting just over 46% from the field. This is a Davidson team that can score. We've seen that with 40 points in the first half, and Fordham's got to watch out. If they want to win this game, I don't think it comes with the offense. I know they've really struggled there, 0 for 12 from 3, but this is a Davidson team that is 21-1 when scoring over 70 points. Fordham's already had them let up 40 points. Davidson scored 40 points in that first half. They have to win this game with the defense. They're going to have to force turnovers, get extra possessions on the offensive end, and in my opinion, that's the biggest area Fordham can try to win this game in the second half, because the offensive game, it's not there right now. You need to get back in it with your defense.
Well, there's a handful of things to note here. One of them you alluded to right there, Michael, was hitting the three-pointers here. As you mentioned, Davidson's 4 for 10 from beyond the arc, and credit to them. They're just a good shooting team, and that's bound to happen from a team that scores so much. But Fordham themselves is 0 for 12 from 3.
Yep.
So think about it. So 4 3-pointers, that's 12 points you give up. And you're not making that up with the 12 3-pointers you're missing. So that's a huge part of this. If you want to defend them, then you're going to have to defend them from all parts of the court, and that includes beyond the arc. And as good as they shoot from 3, you have to continue to defend them there. And another part of that is, letting them be streaky. Fordham is streaky offensively. They've been like that for, pockets of time all season. But, Davidson had quite a few good runs in this first half, including a 5 for their last 7 field goal-wise to round out the first half. So you have to defend against those things if you want to win these games.
Yeah, you 100% have to defend against those things. And when the offense is not going on you, Coach Cal Neptune's talked about it all season, you rely on your defense. And that's what Fordham's going to have to do in this second half. But Dylan, if we look at the offensive end for a second, and you look at this team without Darius Quisberry, who has not played in this game so far, they've really struggled from 3. We've mentioned it, 0 for 12. Pat Kelly, 0 for 3. Kyle Rose, 0 for 3. Zach Riley, 0 for 2. Josh Navarro, 0 for 2. All empty from beyond the arc. And they've really relied on Rostik Nowitzki, 13 points, 5 for 8 from the field. He also had a very long 2. That was almost their first 3 of the game, and he's done it at the line too, 3 for 4 at the line. He's led the team in minutes, so he's stepped up in a big way for this Fordham team.
Well, yeah, credit to Nowitzki for doing what he has to do and understanding the task at hand when Darius Quisenberry is not there for the team. And that's something they've had to face earlier in this season as well, coming to that UMass game a couple of weeks ago. He had missed the last 5 games Quisenberry had. So this is a team that knows what they have to do when Darius Quisenberry is not with them. So credit to Nowitzki for the 13 points. And credit to Chuba Ohams, too, with 5 rebounds in the first half. Perhaps not what you want, is a guy who you can get a double-double out of on a couple different days. But nevertheless, 5 rebounds is nothing too shabby. But as you talk about the Fordham offense and things not happening right for them, they committed 6 turnovers in that first half. Mm-hmm. Now, in reality, that's not a lot, but when you're playing a Davidson team that, only gave up 2 turnovers in that first half, then that's a huge deal. And a big part of that, obviously, that results from that is that Davidson scored 10 points off of turnovers in that first half. And, obviously, that transition from offense to defense is tough for anybody. But if you want to win a game against a team like Davidson, you have to do these things.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point you just mentioned. There are certain things that seem uncharacteristic for Fordham. This is a team that has turned over the ball, so you can say that has been something that is aligned with their history this season, but only forcing Davidson to 2 turnovers, this is a team that's one of the best defensive teams in the Atlanta 10, forces a lot of turnovers. That's not a number you're used to seeing. Also on the rebounding side of things, they're only out-rebounding Davidson by 1 rebound. You think about Chuba Ohams, Abdul Simbila. They've got a lot of guys that are great on the boards, attacking the glass and getting rebounds. Both those things have not gone Fordham's way, and that's something we're usually accustomed to seeing with this team, forcing turnovers and winning the rebound battle. And when you're not sticking to those 2 things and the shots aren't falling, that's how you get down 16 points.
Well, credit to Menenga, too, for Davidson, 7 boards and 4 dimes in that first half. So a good thing for him. But as you mentioned there, Michael, and as we've been talking about, the boards are going to be a huge deal in this game, especially in the second half. This is going to be a huge deficit. Fordham's going to want to overcome it. It's not impossible to come back down 16 points, but it's a lot. It's a tall task.
Yeah, it's definitely a tall task, and I think you start thinking who would be the guy for Fordham to step up. No Darius Quisenberry, he's not suited up for today's game, but you look around and you look at a guy like Josh Navarro, someone they've relied on time and time again this season to hit big threes down the stretch. He's 0 for 2 from downtown, 0 for 4 from the field to start, 0 points. So he's someone that Fordham's really going to need to rely on. And Chuba Oham's most improved player in the Atlantic 10, second team All-Atlantic 10. He's been arguably their best player all season next to Darius Quisenberry. And you're going to need to run the offense through him. I know you see 16 points on the board, and I know you're going to be eager to shoot threes, get back quickly in this game, but 16 points is way too much just to win it from behind the arc. You have to get good baskets, and you have to have a good shot every time you go down the court, and then you got to play good defense. I think running the offense through Chuba Ohams does that, and then you just have to win it on the defensive side.
Well, it's interesting you bring up Colon Navarro's name because I was about to bring him up as well, just how cold he's been. He's got 2 rebounds, and that's really it in terms of,
That's the only
outstanding
turnover.
statistics in this game. And, it's not a matter of him not getting the time. He played 16 of those 20 minutes. So, maybe it's a little more rest that needs to figure things out here. And, this is a big adjustment, as our play-by-play guy, Nick DeLuca, mentioned before the start of the game. It's been a very long time since this Fordham program has played in the Atlantic 10 semifinals, and obviously nobody on this roster has done that specifically for Fordham. You look at a guy like Chuba Ohams, he has kind of been the figure point in this transition from the Jeff Neubauer era into the Kyle Neptune era. So, this is probably the biggest game of his career and will be the biggest, in the event that Fordham doesn't win this game. So, there's an adjustment to be made there that Fordham, if they're going to figure it out in this game, they're going to have to do it very, very quickly.
Yeah, I think you talk about the transition from the Jeff Neubauer to the Coach Kyle Neptune hour. I think any way you look at this is a success being at this point.
Absolutely.
You made the quarterfinals for the first time since 2007 under a first-year head coach and a new assemblance of guys. Josh Colon Navarro, Chuba Oham's returning, but you've also guys like Antrell Charles and Darius Quisenberry coming in from other schools. And to be at this point, I think is just what the program's at right now versus where they were just a year ago. So I think that's great to see, but this is a Fordham team that has a lot of fight in them. And you can add to that program by going out in the second half and making this a competitive game. You're down 16 points. You hit a couple shots when you get off the half. You play some good defense, force some turnovers, and you get this to a single-digit deficit. Then you have a little more confidence in the late stages of this game, and you can hold your head high if it doesn't turn out in your favor. I don't think Fordham's out of this game. They can make an offensive run need be, but it's still a tall task. At the very least, you want to make this competitive.
You make an interesting point there, Michael, and it's a weird thing to talk about considering there's still 20 minutes of basketball to be played in at least this game, perhaps the remainder of Fordham's season. But nevertheless, I know I'm not the only person around Fordham basketball who was saying it. I think it was most people who said if you can finish in the middle of the conference during conference play and then win a game at the conference tournament, that's a successful season for your first year under Kyle Neptune. So Fordham has already, accomplished some things to show improvement as a program, Anything else, it's not gravy, it's less than gravy. Less than gravy is a wonderful phrase, by the way. But, nevertheless, there are things you want to go out for. So, I think Fordham really proving themselves as a good team in the second half, staying competitive here, bringing this lead to single digits against Davidson for the rest of this game, that's a success in my book.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. And when I think about the second half, I think there is a chance, Fordham can outplay Davidson. You think back to the first half in their first match this season. Fordham outscored Davidson 31-24. They can do that again, and I know they're going to have to make up a lot more with 16 points, but they have it in them. We've seen it this season. They can outplay very good teams in portions of games. They're just going to need to do that here in the second half. But, Dylan, that's going to do it for us for the halftime report in the Rose Hill studio, but time to send it to our nation's capital in D.C. with Nick DeLuca and Ryan Gregware, who have the call.
Hey everyone, I'm Kayla Wenzel, reminding you to follow WFUV Sports on all your social media platforms. Check out our Twitter or Instagram by searching at WFUV Sports. This way you can follow along with our New York beat reporters in and post-game reports. You can also find highlights from today's basketball game and even links for our one-on-one broadcasts. Our social media keeps you up to date with all WFUV coverage, so make sure you give us a follow so that you never miss an update.
Davidson 40, Fordham 24 at the halftime break from Capital One Arena here in downtown Washington, D.C. The A-10 quarterfinal for Fordham for the first time in 15 years, not off to the greatest of starts. The Rams shooting 9 of 32, just 28% in the opening half, while Davidson at 47%. Shooting it at 14 of 30, and knew it was going to be a struggle for Fordham to score. It has been, playing without Darius Quisenberry, but to allow 40 points in the opening half, Fordham can't win that way. That has to be what Kyle Neptune and his coaching staff are disappointed with.
The defense is by far the number one story, because Fordham's been in this spot a million times when it comes to offense. I think they had 24 last time versus Davidson in the first half. The difference is you're giving up 40. You know, you look at a Watts, you look at a Huffman. They combined for 14 in the first half. Nick, they average combined just 6 on the year. So they're not stepping up on those guys. I know the game plan is to let some lesser players beat you, but these guys, Watson, you give him credit. He didn't do this last time and went 0 for 6. He's taking a few dribbles inside, taking the pull-up jumper. Fordham's not bringing the defense, and it's allowed them to be successful and open up this 16-point lead.
Fordham really struggled shooting the basketball, 0 of 12 from 3. Where would they be at 24 points without Rastik Nowitzki right now?
And he's been everything. 13 for them for the offense. He's been able, the one guy who's put his back to the basket, getting the success there, and I think that's why this team, they're so silly. They shouldn't be shooting these threes. 0 for 12. Davidson shot just 10. You are not the three-point shooting team they are. The only success Fordham's had on offense is when they pounded inside, so I think that's what you have to get back to in the second half. The only thing, Nick, is just you're down 16. You got to find scoring somewhere however you can.
And if they want to get back to pounding it inside, Nowitzki has been great, but Chuba Oham's their top player, 6 points on just 4 shot attempts in the first half.
Very quiet half for him. The 4 shot attempts is what you look at. You need him to, he shot 20 last time, had just 4 in the first half. First George Mason, and what did he do in that second half? He took it inside nearly every possession. You expect if Fordham wants to come out with some more fire in the second half, that's exactly what they're going to have to do in this one.
Davidson with 40 points in that first half. A reminder, 21-1 on the season when scoring 70 or more. So Fordham, if they want to have a chance of getting back into this one, are going to need to put together a really strong second half defensively. Out of the halftime locker room, Riley, Ohams, Rose, Charlton, and Rastik Nowitzki, the 5 on the floor for Fordham. Lee, Meninga, Lawyer, Jones, and Luka Brankovic to start it for Davidson. Brankovic, who played the first half with the 2 fouls, had just 5 minutes total with 2 points. Young-Jun Lee getting set to inbound it from the near side for a Davidson team that is on the bubble in the NCAA tournament. Should be in with a win today. Projected as an 11th seed by ESPN's Joe Lenardi. Into the front court, Foster Lawyer, second in the A-10 in scoring. Had 4 points in the first half. Wheeling around with 15 to shoot, right of the lane, tripped onto the floor. The bounce from Meninga and a foul called. Kyle Rose will pick up his second, and Rose is saying, he just stepped on my foot. How's that a foul?
And you saw him trip there, and a tough call to go against Rose. And for Fordham guys, Antrell Charlton with 3 fouls, Zach Riley as well. That is something where if this game they want to make it close, they can't get into more foul trouble than they already are.
Running lane, Brankovic, righty runner Lee, back heel off, Riley, the tip, and the center of the paint rebound. Fordham to work on offense, finished the first half 1 of their last 10 from the field. Right arc Nowitzki off the screen, stop at the elbow, bounce Ohams, baseline, 2-handed flush. Ohams on the feed from Nowitzki. Fordham, a 14-point deficit, 40-26 Davidson, a minute into the second half.
How about the second, the decision-making by Nowitzki there. They're going to bring 2 guys on him because of how successful he's been. He's able to find Ohams inside.
Meninga, the hesitation, lays it in with the left from the left block. And Sam Meninga with 7 points in this one extends the Davidson lead back to 16, 42-26. Just over a minute into the second half. Left arc Riley, ball fake. The 2 steps in the center of the paint. The attack Lays it in off the glass. Zach Riley, first points of the day. Fordham trails by 14, 42-28, minute and a half in. Lawyer left arc, straight away Meninga. Defense from Ohams. Meninga on the right arc with plenty of room. Won't shoot it with 12 to shoot. Stop at the free throw line. Brajkovic near corner with 10 and with 9. The jab step, baseline back down. The bounce from Meninga left of the lane. Bowling over Nowitzki. Easy two at the left. No call. Meninga on the inside. 9 points for Sam Meninga, the redshirt sophomore. And 2 minutes into the second half, Davidson in front, 44-28.
Good decision there from Nowitzki to try to sell the foul. Unfortunately, he doesn't get the call.
Straight on Rose, ball fake the three. It's good. A first three of the day for Fordham. Kyle Rose hits it, and Fordham trails by 13, 44-31. Rose pokes away possession from behind Lawyer out through the baseline. Last touch by Rose, and Davidson keeps it. Fordham now 1 of 13 from long range, but finally getting one to fall.
And in reality, if there is someone on this team currently that's going to be able to get them going from beyond the arc, it is Kyle Rose. Leads the team in three-point percentage, and big for him to get off the snide.
Right arc Brajkovic, stop at the free throw line, Meninga. Float straight away, Lawyer, 15 to shoot. Righty pull-up jumper is good. From the free throw line, Foster Lawyer to 6 points. And Davidson, a 15-point lead, 46-31. 2.5 minutes into the second half. Antral Charlton into the front court, playing with the 3 fouls. Has not scored today. Riley the bounce on the baseline right. Ohams drawing the double team, looking to work away. Splits it, possession lost, and a double dribble. Ohams turns it over, trying to split through and go up with the basketball. And Davidson with possession back, leading by 15.
And a good job there by the Wildcats to just swarm Ohams, unable to do anything in the paint with 2 guys on him, with him under the basket. Couldn't pass it out either and gets the travel call against him.
Fordham will go small. Ohams will check out with Pat Kelly coming in. Left arc Foster Lawyer, shoulder high possession. Screen left Brajkovic. 3 minutes into the second half. Lawyer dancing, stop at the right elbow, feet underneath Brajkovic. Turnaround hook shot, too strong. The weak side loose ball for Antral Charlton and Fordham. Rams to the front court, trailing by 15. Far side 3, Riley. Front rim off, battle for the board, and Riley, check it, Pat Kelly will be called for a loose ball foul. With possession back to Davidson, leading by 15. Fordham's second of this second half, and Riley's first. Ready to goal inbound, Foster Lawyer, the double team into the backcourt. Meninga, 3 feet in front of the midline stripe. Front court left, right of the lane, backing down with Nowitzki shielding the defense. Foster Lawyer guarded by Riley on the perimeter. Right arc, 12 to shoot. Screen left, Brajkovic. Lawyer a foot in front of the 3-point line. Baseline right, back out from Meninga. Lawyer steps back with 3 and with 2. Jones right arc 3. Front rim off. Center of the paint rebound for Cologne Navarro. Cologne Navarro straight away has not scored yet today. Drawing the contact from Lawyer as he surged to the right of the paint. And Foster Lawyer will pick up the foul. It's his first. And Davidson's first.
Cologne Navarro looking to attack there before the foul. That's a good idea for him. Get him some confidence, get him going. Still scoreless in this one. He is someone with his ability to kind of shoot some threes, be a floor general. Is going to be huge for Fordham to try to cut this game.
Fordham trailing by 15, 46-31. 4 minutes in, second half. On the baseline, double team Charlton. Lefty hook shot, back heel off. Center of the paint rebound, Grant Huffman. Give and go with Brajkovic at the backcourt free throw line. Huffman straight away guarded by Cologne Navarro. Brajkovic, the straight on 3 is good. Luka Brajkovic, who hurt Fordham in the second meeting between these two teams from long range, hits the straight on 3, and it's an 18-point Davidson advantage. 49-31, 4.5 minutes in second half.
And he'd been quiet in this one with just 2 points before that, but a 42% three-point shooter. He's someone you can't leave beyond the arc.
Right arc Cunningham, straight on Kelly's 3. Back heel off, long rebound at the free throw line, taken in by Huffman and Davidson. Brajkovic, the screen left. Huffman across the midline. Stops straight away. Cologne Navarro, the defense. Brajkovic straight on, defended by Kelly. Meninga at the right arc. With 15 to shoot, the bounce right block, give and go. Meninga with the left, rolled it off. Loose ball on the baseline, run down by Abdou Simbila. Fordham trails by 18, 49-31. Just over 5 minutes in, second half. Cunningham right arc, jab step to the basket. Tomahawk slam. Cam Cunningham attacking the basket. And the throwdown to bring Fordham within 16, 49-31. Lee the dump off. Meninga blocked away by Simbila, and a foul called at the doorstep. The feed by Lee. Simbila protecting the rim, and Meninga headed to the free throw line on the other side of this timeout. Fordham playing with some more energy to open up the second half of play, but Davidson still in front by 16. Wildcats 49, Fordham 33, 14-34 to go in this one. You're listening to Fordham basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hey everybody, I'm Samantha Borer, beat reporter for the New Jersey Devils for WFUV Sports. You can catch my live updates from the Prudential Center on my Twitter at SammyB7760. That's SAMMYB7760. You'll find my post-game reports on the WFUV Sports YouTube after the game to catch you up on any action you may have missed. I'll have an inside scoop on all things New Jersey hockey all season long. You can also find me on 5on3, WFUV's NHL podcast, where we discuss all the latest news in hockey, both on and off the ice. WFUV is your home for all things Devils.
Nick DeLuca, Ryan Gregware, our entire WFUV Sports crew here with you from Capital One Arena in downtown Washington, D.C. The quarterfinal of the A-10 tournament. The 1 seed Davidson Wildcats taking on the 8 seed Fordham Rams in their first quarterfinal in 15 years. Davidson took a 16-point lead into the halftime break, and with the two teams at 9 apiece in the first 5.5 minutes of the second half, Fordham still with some work to do in making up some ground.
And that really starts with kind of shooting the basketball better. Now 1 for 15 from three. We saw it when Luka Brajkovic hit a three. Fordham and Pat Kelly tried to answer instantly. I don't know how many times we can say don't make this a three-point contest. So far they haven't really adjusted. They've outshot, Davidson from three in the second half. And if you're not going to take it inside and you're going to take threes, you have to make them, which Fordham hasn't done here this afternoon.
Davidson shooting 47% from the field. They've hit 5 of 12 threes. Fordham, as Ryan mentioned, 1 of 15 from long range and have shot at 33%, 13 of 39 on the day. Rams trying to find some answers, playing without their top scorer, Darius Quisenberry, today, who missed the second half against George Mason yesterday due to injury, working back, and then diving for a loose ball on the baseline, seeming to re-injure that knee that had been bugging him. And now Fordham looking for some more scoring from some other sources. Restic Davitsky has given them 13, all coming in the first half today. Sam Meninga headed to the free throw line after getting fouled heading into the immediate timeout. Abdou Simbila picked up the foul. It was his first. Meninga rolls in the first free throw. Davidson by 17, 50-33. Just under 4.5 minutes in to the second half. Meninga's second. Lefty all net. Davidson extends the lead back to its largest of the afternoon. That's 18. Davidson 51, Fordham 33, with 14.5 minutes to go. Antrell Charlton, who had 11 yesterday, playing with the foul trouble, has not scored this afternoon. Straight away, Kyle Rose Between the legs dribble, the hesitation, head of the key with 14 to shoot. Charlton, spin move, center of the paint, kick out, offensive foul. Charlton whistled for the turnover back to the basket and was looking to get rid of it. But Charlton picks up his 4th foul with 14 minutes to go.
And Fordham just has 2 assists in this one. And it's plays like that where you're selfishly taking it into the paint and not kicking it out. We talked about before the game with 4 assists last time versus Davidson. They needed to be more together, better teamwork, and we have not seen that, which is why they're down 18.
Lee, the righty runner, easy off the glass. Yeonjun Lee on the baseline drive has 11 this afternoon. And Davidson, a 20-point lead, 53-33. 13 and a half to go in the second half. Oham sent of the key, kick out of the reach of Cunningham, out to the near sideline. Fordham turns it over again.
These teams not in sync right now. Bad passes, miscommunications here. That's not how you're going to cut this deficit now up to 20 points.
Rams will make a number of changes here. Rose, Ohams, and Simbilla, along with Cunningham, will check out. Kelly, Charlton, Cologne, Navarro, Rose, and Riley. The 5 on the floor. Kyle Rose will check out as well. As Rastik Nowitzki has come into the backcourt. Desmond Watson, who had 8 points in the first half, checks in for the first time in the second frame for Davidson as well. Lee head of the key, over the head pass. Brajkovic backing down with 15 to shoot. Nowitzki the defense. Righty hook shot, back heel and off, but a foul called. Rastik Nowitzki playing the defense, center of the paint, ruled for the shove. And Luka Brajkovic headed to the free throw line. He's got 5 today. The A-10 Conference Player of the Year.
And what makes Davidson so tough is, you look at him, just 3 shots. He's been quiet, but he could turn it on at any minute, which is going to make a comeback so difficult. You have so many different guys to pay attention to, and Brajkovic, the best of the bunch.
Top 10 in the A-10 in field goal percentage and rebounding. 12th in the A-10 in scoring, averaging 15 points a game. Brajkovic, the first, back heel and rolls off. Averaging 13 and 7 over his last 5. Shooting 61% from the field in that stretch. Second is good for Brajkovic, who nails 1 out of 2, and Davidson in front by 21, 54-33, with 13 and a half minutes to go in this one. Shovel for Charlton straight away, curling Riley up top, back to the basket, guarded by Lee, and a foul will be called. The reach by Lee, who picks up his second, and Davidson's second.
And Bob McHale puts his hands on his head there in disbelief of Lee, using the hands just a bit aggressively and getting called for it.
Antrell Charlton will inbound right of the goal. Float for Nowitzki, far corner. Brajkovic the defense. Give and go back to the basket, Charlton. Left of the lane, working on Huffman. The drop-off pass, Riley. The up and under, hanging in the air, and a foul called as he hit the underneath portion of the backboard. Lee will be called for a 3rd foul. And that seemingly a chance for Fordham to take advantage.
And it's crucial. And plays like that, that's what Fordham needs to get back to. Nice give and go, good teamwork. Get Zach Riley under the basket. He's unable to finish, but go to the line. But it's plays like that to setting up your teammate, getting higher percentage looks. It's going to help Fordham cut this one.
Riley hits the first. Lee will head to the bench with Michael Jones coming in for Davidson. Yeonjun Lee with 11 points on 4 of 7 from the field. As Watson will take his place. Riley hits the second free throw, and Fordham back within 19, 54-35, approaching 7 minutes into the second half. Kelly, the backcourt pressure, right arc Bochi Edom. Straight away for Watson to the dribble, free throw line pull-up is good. Desmond Watson has been on fire from the field, off the bench today to 10 points on 5 of 6 shooting. And Davidson back in front by 21, 56-35, 12:40 and ticking second half.
That's what having depth can do to your team, because if Fordham does a great job executing their game plan on the starters, you can go to some guys on the pine like Watson, who's been getting it done today.
Right arc Cologne Navarro, screen left Kelly, straight away For Nowitzki, roaming left. Back to the basket, left elbow stop with 5 to shoot. Far corner pull-up Charlton. Front rim and off. Riley, the right block rebound, and a loose ball foul called on Nelsie Bochi-Yeadam on the weak side. Riley with the hustle to run down the loose ball, and Fordham an extra possession.
And that's why Zach Riley's in this game, because no matter if the shots are falling or not, if the defense isn't there, he's always going to give 100% of the effort. We've seen as he's become a part of this rotation, he's diving on the floor, he's doing everything for loose balls, and there the hustle generating a second chance for Fordham.
Bochi-Yeadam will check out. Foster Lawyer returns to the floor for Davidson, along with Luka Brankovic. Far side, Chuba Ohams, cross-court pass, yanked down Charlton with 7 to shoot. On the right baseline, possession poked away out through the near sideline. And Fordham will keep it with 4 on the shot clock, 12:06 to go second half. Davidson in front by 3 touchdowns, 56-35. Ohams, the near side inbound to a curling Kyle Rose with 4 and with 3 on the shot clock. Step back, long 2. It's good. Kyle Rose hits the shot. Fordham trails 56-37, a 19-point Davidson lead. 11:50 and ticking second half. Stop at the free throw line for Watson. Back to the basket, Brankovic, right of the lane, backing down Nowitzki. Double team comes, right arc feed for Huffman, and a travel called as Davidson turns it over at the 11:41 mark of the second half. Fordham still looking for a way to cut into this Davidson lead. The Wildcats 56, Fordham 37, 11:41 to go in this one. Back to our Rose Hill studios, a one-on-one scoreboard with Dylan Balsamo.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Hey guys. Friends, once this game is over, the Atlantic 10 quarterfinals continue with St. Louis St. Bonaventure at 2:30. Then tonight check out UMass Dayton at 6 o'clock and Richmond VCU at 7:30. Well, if you haven't figured it out yet, it's March. Some conference tournament games happening as we speak, namely Auburn currently trails in the SEC quarters to Texas A&M 48-31. That's mid-second half. Also in the second half is the Big Ten quarterfinal between Illinois and Indiana. Hoosiers lead 62-59, 2 minutes and change left. A ton of marquee matchups to look out for tonight as well. Wisconsin faces Michigan State in the Big 12 quarterfinals at 6:30. Kansas has TCU in the Big 12 semis at 7. Villanova faces UConn at the Garden in the Big East semifinals at 9 o'clock. And the evening rounds out with USC and UCLA in the Pac-12 semis. That'll be at 11:30 tonight. On the court in the pros, the Knicks will look to make it 4 straight wins tonight. They'll go to Memphis to take on the Memphis Grizzlies, who are, according to sources, very good. Meanwhile, in the NHL, the Islanders continue their homestand tonight. They'll have the Winnipeg Jets at 7:30. I forgot how much I enjoyed doing these. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Dylan Balsamo.
Thanks, Dylan. Glad you were able to remember. Davidson 56, Fordham 37, 11:41 to go in the second half. The number 1 seed in the Atlantic 10 so far has held serve, and the time Fordham has been able to get even the slightest bit of momentum, they've answered right back.
Yeah, and Davidson has done a good job of not letting Fordham go on an extended run. There hasn't been a stretch where they've cut this one since Davidson's opened it up, and a lot of that is on the offensive end. Davidson has not let down at all.
Fordham shooting at 34%, Davidson at 50%. And the Rams, who had been so good defensively down the stretch, holding George Mason to 49 points yesterday, have already allowed 56 to Davidson with 11:40 to go in the game. Davidson top 65 in the NCAA in scoring, averaging 76 points a game, behind only St. Louis among the tops of the A-10, and have shown why they are the regular season champions today.
And third time against a team, you wonder how much of an effect that is. Coach Neptune told us we know everything they want to do, and they know everything we want to do. And we've really seen Davidson take that, knowing that Fordham is going to let some guys shoot. They've taken steps into the paint. They've taken higher percentage shots. That is 100% being comfortable with this Fordham defense, and you're seeing it as they put up 56 with still 11 minutes to go.
Riley, Cologne, Navarro, Nowitzki, Ohams, and Rose. The 5 out of the timeout for Kyle Neptune. Rams trail it by 19. with 11.5 to go. Right baseline float, Oham, straightaway 3. Rose in and out, left block rebound for Desmond Watson. Fordham now 1 of 16 from downtown today. Foster Lawyer to a curling right arc Huffman. Jab step, the float for Brajkovic, back to the basket. Right of the lane, working on Nowitzki. Double team comes, backed out. Straight away Watson, give and go. Jones, the run on the baseline, easy 2. Michael Jones, the give and go. Davidson leads by 21, 58-37, 10:50 to go second half. Stop left elbow, Cologne Navarro, dump underneath. Nowitzki, right block, drawing the double team. Cross-court pass, well over everything for Riley out through the near sideline, and Fordham turns it over yet again.
And that's the inexperience of Rossi Nowitzki getting double teamed. He hasn't been in these spots this year. Ailmel's that pass across the court, not even close to Riley.
You would have caught that, right?
I was a few feet away from it.
Gregware was open on the near side. Davidson into the front court, leading by 21. Watson, left arc for Grant Huffman. Back to the basket, Brajkovic, working on the defense from Ohams. Bounce, pull up, Watson in and out. Center of the paint, rebound, Ohams. Shuba striding across the midline, 8 points, 5 rebounds today. Drawing the double team, extra pass straight on Charlton. Left arc Rose to the drive, jump stop, possession poked away. Backs out with 15 to shoot, Riley's 3. Left rim off, center of the paint, rebound, Brajkovic away from Charlton. Foster Lawyer into the front court, 6 points on 2 of 5 from the field. Curling around, screen right, Brajkovic, bounce on the baseline, Watson. Nowitzki shuts him off, blocks it away. Loose ball, Lawyer, over the head pass. Brajkovic with 12 to shoot. Straight on for Huffman, long to Watson. Back heel off, right block rebound ripped away by Nowitzki. And a foul called on Davidson.
And there we're seeing Nowitzki do what he didn't do earlier in this game, using his body to get in great position and grab the rebound.
It's a 5th rebound for Rastik Nowitzki, who's got 13 and 5 today. Grant Huffman picked up the loose ball foul. It's his first, and Davidson's 5th of this second half. Jones and Brajkovic will check out, with Bochi Yedem coming back in, along with Yunjun Lee playing with the 3 fouls. Straight on Charlton, stop A-10 stamp. Far side 3, Riley hits the backboard. Loose ball, center of the paint for Lee. Fordham hasn't scored in 2.5 minutes. Trailing it by 19, 58-37 Davidson, 9:20 and ticking to go. Lawyer curling around the screen. Yo-yo dribble at the free throw line. Back to the basket, Meninga right of the paint with 10 to shoot. Straight on the 3, Huffman. It's good. Grant Huffman, the catch and shoot, left all alone up top. Has 9 points today. And Davidson a 61-37 lead in the final 9 minutes.
Huffman stepped up big time, a guy just a shave under 30% from 3, but he's 3 for 4 from beyond the arc and making Fordham wish they were contesting these threes.
Charlton up top, no look pass, dump underneath. Riley, the 3. Left rim and off. The feed by Ohams. Riley all alone. Fordham with a lid on the basket from downtown, 1 of 18. Straightaway hesitation dribble. Huffman. Rose falls to the floor and an offensive foul.
Really nice body control from Kyle Rose. But going back to that last possession, Fordham again trying to make this a 3-point contest, trying to match. Huffman unable to do so is Zach Riley, who's now 0 for 6 from beyond the arc.
Fordham has made just 1 3 today. It was Kyle Rose. Have missed the other 18 shot attempts from downtown. Davidson 61, Fordham 37. 24-point lead for the Wildcats. Back to the basket, Oham straight on Charlton. Far side 3, Cologne Navarro. Front rim off. Right block rebound, Meninga. Make it another missed 3 for Fordham, 1 of 20. Straightaway Lawyer, screen left from Meninga. Defense by Cologne Navarro. Loose ball pinballed center of the paint. A kickball called. And possession will stay with Davidson with a fresh 20 on the other side of this timeout. Davidson pulling away. The Wildcats 61, Fordham 37 in the final 8 minutes of the A-10 quarterfinal. You're listening to Fordham Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hey everyone, Michael Calamari here, alongside Chris Hennessy, two of your hosts for this week's episode of On the Green.
Be sure to tune in this week as we break down the upcoming Players' Championship and Justin Thomas's defense of his 2021 title.
We'll also recap Scotty Scheffler's win at the Arnold Palmer Invitational at Bay Hill from last weekend.
Be sure to tune in every single week for picks of the upcoming event, recap of last week's event, and much more from the PGA Tour.
Catch us wherever you receive your podcast and listen in here on the Green.
Nick DeLuca, Ryan Gregware, our entire WFUV Sports crew here with you from Capital One Arena. Appreciate you sticking with us on this Friday afternoon. Davidson 61, Fordham 37, and the top seed in the Atlantic 10 tournament has looked the part this afternoon. Fordham struggling to contain this high-powered Davidson offense, but it's been the Davidson defense that has really been impressive. Fordham, one of their last 7 from the field, a scoring drought of 4 minutes. They're 1 of 20 from 3 today.
And on the offensive side, Fordham has to decide what they want to do because they're completely out of sync right now. They're forcing threes early in the shot clock, contested, you name it. They don't have an identity right now, and Davidson's taking that and exposing them for it.
And Davidson offensively has been so impressive, not only because of what they've been able to do shooting the basketball, but seeing other guys step up. Youngjun Lee has missed some time due to foul trouble. Sam Meninga has stepped up with 11 points. Their A-10 Conference Player of the Year, Luka Brajkovic, has just 6, and Desmond Watson has poured in 10.
And Huffman with 9 as well. That's what makes this depth so scary because we talk about, the 4 guys, all A-10 honor, 30%, 35% from 3, all that. But they can beat you in different ways, and they've done so here today.
Out of the timeout for Fordham, Oham Simbila, Charlton Cunningham, and Josh Colon Navarro. For a Fordham team playing in their first A-10 quarterfinal in 15 years, knew it would be a tall task against a Davidson team that is destined for the NCAA tournament. And it has not been their kind of game so far. Float for Lawyer straight away, 10 to shoot, 7:50 to go, second half. Stop at the right elbow, fall away is good. Foster Lawyer, the contested shot, 8 points today. Davidson grows the lead, 63-37, 7.5 minutes to go.
And that's another guy. He's been pretty quiet, 17 on the year, just 6 in that. Before that, nice pull-up shot. They have so many different ways they can attack you.
Left arc 3, Colon Navarro sinks it. A second 3 of the day for Fordham. And a trail by 23, 63-40. The swipe by Charlton, loose ball for a moment. Davidson reclaims. Curling Lee, jump stop at the right elbow, falling away. His float intercepted by Charlton across the midline. The bump by Lawyer and a foul called.
It's a really smart bump by Lawyer because Antrell Charlton had, the advantage there. Could have put it up for an easy transition layup for Fordham, but Lawyer prevents that, getting the foul.
Fordham forcing the turnover that time, just the 5th by Davidson today for a team that has been so good defensively, but Davidson has been able to withstand the pressure. The foul by Lawyer, the 7th for Davidson, so Charlton heads to the free throw line shooting 1 and 1. Lawyer's second, Charlton's first, rolls out, and the underneath the basket rebound for Lee. Fordham 8 of 12 from the free throw line today. Left to the lane drive, stop Huffman. The shovel for Meninga back to the basket with 18 to shoot. The give and go, and a foul called underneath on Abdou Simbila, pushing Sam Meninga.
And he's done a good job on Meninga when that's been the matchup. Meninga just 3 for 10. This is a guy who's 11th in the conference in field goal percentage, but there he's able to use his size against Simbila's advantage and gets the foul call.
Davidson 63, Fordham 40. Final 6:50 to go in this second half. Straightaway Lawyer, catch and shoot 3. Back heel off. Ohams, the right block rebound. That his 6th to go with 8 points today. Left baseline, left arc 3, Cologne Navarro. Back heel off, Simbila. Offensive board, but a shove called. Abdu ripping the basketball away from Meninga. And Simbila, who's been playing with foul trouble, picks up his 5th. So the end of the day for Abdu Simbila, who was fouled out with 6.5 to go.
And in just 8 minutes here, the whistle not gone against, Fordham guys here today. Antrell Charlton with 4, Zach Riley in foul trouble. Another area where Fordham hasn't gotten the benefit of the doubt.
Sam Meninga to the free throw line, shooting 1 and 1 after Simbila picked up Fordham's 7th. First from Meninga, it's all net. Rams have struggled to contain this Davidson offensive attack. And Davidson a 24-point lead, 64-40. Foster Lawyer will check out for Davidson. See how much longer he might be in the fold, if at all. Guy working back from injury. And Davidson with a comfortable lead of 25, 65-40 after the second free throw.
That's the advantage of the double bye in the A-10 because Davidson set themselves up to kind of get some rest here. And Lawyer, who missed 4 straight games with an injury, now gets a rest with 6 minutes left.
Bounce underneath, two-handed flush by Ohams. The assist by Charlton. Ohams into double figures with 10 to go with 6 boards today. Davidson 65, Fordham 42 in the final 6 minutes. Jones across the midline straight away for Grant Huffman, who's got 9 points today. Left arc Meninga with 20 to shoot. The pass off the back of Meninga, wasn't looking for it. Nowitzki speeding into the front court. The bounce for Ohams. Left block double team. Left arc 3. Charlton swatted away. Claims the loose ball. Stop A-10 stamp. Far side 3. Nowitzki is good. Rastik Nowitzki, the catch and shoot 3 to a career high 16 points. His first of the second half. And Fordham trails by 20, 65-45.
A nice dish there by Antrell Charlton. Some ball movement we've seen so rarely here today.
5.5 to go. Meninga left arc with room. Far side corner pass. Jones the 3. Front rim off. Looking to lean in and draw a foul. Off front rim and Ohams the board. Striding across the midline. Jones to the floor and a blocking foul called. Ohams the shoulder. Jones the slide. And Michael Jones will pick up his 2nd. And Davidson's 8th, sending Ohams to the free throw line, shooting 1 and 1.
Jones was frustrated on that last possession, not getting the call for 3, trying to take it into his own hands, draw the charge there, but unable to do so as Ohams will head to the line.
Josh Cologne Navarro will check out for Fordham. Zach Riley comes in on the floor with Rose, Charlton, Ohams, and Nowitzki. Couple of bounces for Ohams. The front end of the 1 and 1 is good. Chuba to 11 points with 7 rebounds today. Has 9 straight double-doubles, a Fordham record 21 this season. Good for 5th most in the NCAA, averaging 20, 14, and 4 over the final week of the season, on his way to most improved player in the A-10 as he sinks the second free throw.
And he's done it all, but in this second half, one of the things we talked about, getting him more involved. He's taken just 6 shots in this one, so that hasn't been the case for Fordham. One of the reasons they've struggled in this half.
Davidson by 18, 65-47, approaching the 5-minute mark, second half. Luka Brajkovic back to the basket across the midline. Rip away possession, Jones with 15 to shoot. Badgered by Riley on the perimeter. Wheeling right, Jones. Stop, no look pass, baseline drive. Meninga wrestles it in with the left. Sam Meninga creating the separation off the glass. Meninga to 13 points, and Davidson a 20-point lead, 67-47. 4:40 to go, straight on 3, Kelly. Back heel off, Nowitzki battling, left block board, swatted for Jones. Davidson into the front court. Michael Jones with a 20-point Davidson lead. Riley reaching in and a foul called. Zach Riley will pick up his 4th and jog to the Fordham bench to chat with Kyle Neptune.
Riley, a true freshman. He hasn't been here this whole season. Got to Fordham in December. No advised foul there. He's still coming along. Clearly has the talent, but in this one, 1 for 7, 0 for 6 from 3, and the 4 fouls. It hasn't been his best day at the office.
It's Fordham's 8th. The front end of the 1-and-1 goes down for Jones. The guy averaging double figures on the season has 7 today. A couple of bounces. His second is all net. Davidson by 21, 68-47 in the final 4:28 of the A-10 quarterfinal. Desmond Watson will come in. Sam Meninga, Yunjun Lee will check out for Davidson, to the applause of the Wildcat contingent on the far side of the court. Those two solid today for the top seed in the A-10, combining for 26 points. Nowitzki in and out, right arc 3, underneath the basket, rebound for Bochi Edom. Far sideline outlet for Watson, who's got 10 points today. Possession poked away by Rose out through the far sideline. Last touch by Fordham. Davidson keeps it with 4:03 to go, second half. And the Wildcats in front 69-47.
Yeah, you have to appreciate the wherewithal from Cairo, still playing that tight man-to-man defense that he's done throughout the year, typically guarding the best guy, and he's not stopping right now.
A 22-point Davidson lead. Fordham seemingly 4 minutes away from an end to their season that has been undoubtedly a success under first-year head coach Kyle Neptune. Top of the key jumper, Watson off. Rebound Fordham. Rose to the right arc. In the final 3:50. Back to the basket, Charlton at the free throw line. Wheeling to the right baseline, backing down Huffman. The hip pocket bounce pass for Riley, who was fouled on the floor. It's Michael Jones who will pick up the foul, his third, and it will send Fordham to the free throw line on the other side of this timeout. Davidson on their way to the A-10 semifinal. The Wildcats in front 69-47 in the final 3:40 to go in this second half. You're listening to Fordham basketball on WFUV Sports. Back to our Rose Hill studios, a one-on-one scoreboard with Dylan Balsamo.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Well, folks, as you know, this game is almost over, but Atlantic 10 quarterfinals play will continue right after, with St. Louis taking on St. Bonaventure at 2:30. Then tonight, check out UMass Dayton at 6 o'clock and Richmond VCU at 7:30. Well, it's conference tournament season, and we've got games all over the place. Big headline right now, Auburn currently trails in the SEC quarterfinals to Texas A&M 56-44, about 6 minutes left in that game. Having just wrapped up is the Big Ten quarterfinal between Illinois and Indiana, a huge upset for the Hoosiers. They win a close one, 65-63. Also nearing halftime right now is Houston and Cincinnati in the AAC quarters, Bearcats up 27-25. Ton of marquee matchups to look out for tonight as well. Wisconsin faces Michigan State in the Big Ten quarters at 6:30. Kansas has TCU in the Big 12 semis at 7. Villanova faces UConn at the Garden in the Big East semis at 9 o'clock. And then USC-UCLA in the Pac-12 semifinals very late tonight at 11:30. In the NBA, the Knicks have made up for a 7-game losing streak by winning their last 3. They'll go for a 4th tonight in Memphis against the Grizzlies. Tip-off is at 8 o'clock. And meanwhile, in the NHL, the Islanders are still on their long homestand. They'll host the Winnipeg Jets at 7:30. That's the one-on-one scoreboard. I'm Dylan Balsamo.
Thanks, Dylan. 3:40 to go from Capital One Arena. Davidson out to a 22-point lead, 69-47 over Fordham, whose season is inching toward a close, but have to be excited about the direction of this program under Kyle Neptune, and with a lot of adversity faced throughout this season, losing Antonio Day, a guy who meant so much to them in the non-conference schedule and early on in A-10 play, able to overcome a number of injuries. Darius Quisenberry, who was out today as well. This is a season that Fordham, returning to the A-10 scene, can be proud of.
Yeah, make no mistake, Nick. While this game may leave a sour taste in their mouths, what a fantastic season. 5 Fordham to go. You know, it looks like 500 on the season. They were picked 14th in the conference, right? And so they exceeded, I know they won't tell you about it, but they exceeded all their expectations that everyone else put on them, and just a great building block for the future for Kyle Neptune.
And what a season for Chuba Ohams, a guy that Kyle Neptune was banging on the table to get back in the Rose Hill gym for one more year. Said that when he took the job, it was one of his first phone calls, and he was surprised because he didn't really realize how good a player that Chuba Ohams was initially, and then started watching some film and said, this is a guy who we can win with right now. And he, along with Josh Colon-Navarro, as mentioned on Senior Day, have done such a great job in laying the foundation for the program moving forward.
And rightfully so. Chuba Ohams was one of those first calls, and even with what you expected, he exceeded all that. Most improved player in the conference, right, Nick? We can't forget that. So what he's meant to this team, this fan base, everything this year that Chuba Ohams could do, he left it out on the court.
Riley hits the first, 69-48. Off front rim on the second, in the final 3:30 to go second half. And Davidson, the top seed in the Atlantic 10, have certainly looked the part, and a team that might be able to make some noise come March Madness. Right arc over the head possession for Desmond Watson. Back to the basket, Meninga right of the lane with 10 to shoot. Watson stopping on the A-10 stamp with 8, the ball fake and a travel call. Davidson 69, Fordham 48, 3:17 to go in this one. Zach Riley has come off with Antrell Charlton returning to the floor. Rams this afternoon have shot it just 32% from the field, 3 of 26 from 3. And Rastik Nowitzki has a game high for Fordham, 16 points. The bounce baseline drive, two-handed flush. Nowitzki to rack attack with 18. And Fordham trails 69-50. Brajkovic straight away. 2:45 to go. Left of the lane drive. Backing down Watson. His fall away is strong. Left block rebound for Chuba Ohams. Ohams straight away for Charlton left arc. Rastik Nowitzki with 18 points.
It's been everything for Fordham. The one guy who they could really rely on to get a bucket, time in and time out, and throwing that one down.
The emphasis on players continuing to get better toward the end of the season. Certainly Nowitzki falling into that category. Pass tip far side. Davidson possession with Grant Huffman. Final 2 minutes this one across the midline. Davidson going to use a timeout. With 2:08 on the second half clock. The Wildcats 69, Fordham 50. You're listening to Fordham Basketball on WFUV Sports.
How's it going, everyone? I'm Jack Roach, Brooklyn Nets beat reporter for WFUV Sports. You can catch me live at the Barclays Center, where I get exclusive content directly from Coach Nash and players in press conferences. You can hear all that and more in post-game recaps on the WFUV Sports YouTube page, live updates from Barclays for our one-on-one segments, as well as our very own basketball podcast, Pick and Pod. WFUV Sports, your home for Brooklyn Nets basketball.
Nick DeLuca, Ryan Gregware, here with you from Capital One Arena. 2:08 to go in the second half. Davidson 69, Fordham 50. Along with our entire WFUV Sports crew today, MIke Messina helping us out as our on-site producer, Mike Calamari, Dylan Balsamo, and Alex Wolz back in our Rose Hill studios. Doing a great job as the Fordham season seemingly coming to a close, with Davidson in front by 19 to 69-50. And feel like this game, microcosm of what the season was. A team that goes out, plays hard, is able to do some things well, but in the end, especially without Darius Quisenberry, and we mentioned earlier the loss of Antonio Day midseason, just a team that didn't feel like it had enough offense to really compete with the top dogs in the A-10.
You can only make so much noise with energy and defense and hustle, right? It can only get you so far if you don't have the guys, if you have injuries. Everything that Fordham went through this year, it shows really in this game, because they are still playing hard. You know, they're playing Davidson tough, but when you're shooting 11.5% from 3 and 33% from the game, it's going to be hard to win any game, especially when you factor in the team you're playing on the other side. You know, there's a tournament team. There's a top 64 team in the entire country, so the task was going to be tough, and without some guys, you've seen it play out like that.
Certainly tough break for Fordham to lose Darius Quisenberry headed into this game. Guy who Kyle Neptune was so complimentary of with the way that he went out in the final week of the regular season and gutted through injury. And was able to give them 20 minutes yesterday against George Mason. But after falling hard to the floor along the baseline, missed the final 15 minutes of the second half. And Kyle Neptune saying pregame that he's really day-to-day, just don't really know what the trainers are going to say when Fordham arrived here at Capital One Arena, and it was a no-go and a huge loss for Fordham as they trail by 19, 69-50, the final 2 minutes. Straight on three, back heel and off from Emery Lanier, and the long rebound for Davidson. Thrastarsson wheels it in. Bochi Yeadham, the handoff for Watson. Top of the key jumper is good. Desmond Watson been a key piece off the bench for Davidson today. 12 points on 6 field goals. And the Wildcats a 21-point lead, 71-50, 1:31 remaining. And a substitution. Zach Riley is going to come in with a whistle as Josh Colon-Navarro will head out. With an ovation from the Fordham bench area along the far side. That wrapping up the career for Josh Colon-Navarro here at Fordham. And what an improvement for him. You know, the scoring really ramped up when Antonio Day went down. He stepped into that starting role, over 10 points per game in that spot. He was huge for Fordham in this kind of renaissance of a season. Charlton hits a straight on three. Fordham within 18, 71-53. The final 1:10 to go. Poked away near side. Fordham the backcourt pressure. Charlton up top and will back it out with 1:05 to go. And Davidson poised to move on to the A-10 semifinal tomorrow against the winner of St. Louis and St. Bonaventure following the conclusion of this one. Charlton head of the key. Far side pass Nowitzki. Over the head possession. Backing down left baseline. Working on Watson. The righty hook. Too strong. Rose rips away the underneath the basket rebound, and a foul called on Davidson. And goes to Emery Lanier, who's guilty of Davidson's 10th team foul. Kyle Rose to the free throw line. And there's Fordham still playing tough, still fighting under the basket there, and Kyle Rose able to get the rebound. The foul go against him as he hits the first free throw. Rose today, 8 points. Make it 9 after the first free throw. Front rim and off on the second. Center of the paint board for Davidson, a guy who has shown flashes of being that scoring weapon, 3-and-D guy. On a foul along the far sideline with Davidson claiming the loose ball. And we'll send the Wildcats to the free throw line. Antrell Charlton will pick up his 5th foul. And that will end his day with 40 seconds remaining. Albie Evans will come in to close out the final 40 seconds. Desmond Watson will shoot 1-1. His first is good. Watson to 13 points today. One of the many reasons why Davidson is so dangerous, that depth that can attack you. Yeah, you have to look past this game, and for Davidson, for the future, to have a guy off the bench that can give you this with the weapons you have in your rotation, it makes them the dangerous team we expect them to be. Watson in and out, and a push underneath. Sturmir Thrastarsson will pick up the foul, and Chuba Ohams will head to the free throw line. Final 39 seconds, 72-54 Davidson. And Ohams with 12 and 9 today hits the first free throw. One off from that double-double, Nick. First All A-10 Ram in 6 years. First Ram since 2000 to win Most Improved Player. Second free throw good for the reigning A-10 Player of the Week. Second team All A-10, and the A-10's Most Improved Player getting a hand from the Fordham crowd to go end his college career. A hug from Kyle Neptune. And Davidson will inbound across the midline, left to the lane. The fall-away jumper is good for Chris Ford, the freshman, who's played just 27 total minutes this year. 3-second differential between shot and game clock. Davidson 74, Fordham 56. Rose off on the three-point shot. Extra possession. Albie Evans runs down the near side rebound. Cunningham, the baseline drive. The pass, Evans bowling over. Offensive foul underneath as Ford draws the contact from Cunningham.
Cunningham playing hard, gunning it into the paint there, but good body control by Davidson to get the offensive foul.
Right of the goal inbound across the midline. Emery Lanier will dribble it out in the final 10 seconds with Evans playing the tight defense with 4 and 3. And Fordham's best season in 15 years comes to a close in the A-10 quarterfinal as the top dog in the A-10, Davidson, hangs on 74-56 to advance to the Atlantic 10 semifinal tomorrow afternoon. The one-on-one postgame report up next.
The one-on-one postgame report.
One-on-one postgame report courtside here at Capital One Arena as Fordham is bounced in the quarterfinals of the A-10 tournament. Davidson, the top seed, wins it 74-56 as the Rams meet their match. A third loss to Davidson on the season as the Rams walk off to their locker room to the applause of the Fordham contingent behind their bench. And a successful season despite a tough end today.
Yeah, and this one, these two programs, they're very different places, and that's exactly what you saw on display here today.
Our pleasure to be joined by Fordham Associate Head Coach Keith Urgo. Coach, the season comes to a close, a tough one this afternoon, but just want to get your immediate thoughts now that you finished it out.
Yeah, you know what? We couldn't be more proud of our guys, obviously, especially our seniors, Chuba Ohams and Josh Navarro. I mean, we came in and we changed a lot of different things right from the get-go. Our summer was one of the most intense that I've been a part of, and these guys bought in right from day one. And we couldn't ask any more of their leadership, of their commitment, and their sacrifice to what we're trying to do here, and to all the guys that are preparing to come back. The development throughout the year, each and every one of our individuals, our staff, everyone got better from day one, from June to July to August, and we couldn't be more proud of our guys. We got a lot to build on, and we need to continue to get better this spring and summer. We're very excited about our off-season plans, but again, credit to our seniors for buying in from day one. Guys like also, Kyle Rose and Jalen. Those guys stuck around. They believed in what we're trying to do here. They bought in. And we can't ask for anything more, and it's really important. We'll never forget these guys as we build this thing. They created and helped us create the foundation for what we believe is going to be really successful down the road.
One of those guys who clearly improved throughout the year, Rosik Nowitzki, 18 for him, a career high today. How proud were you of his effort on the court?
Oh, man, you know what? He just kept coming and coming with all that kid's got going on. He was out for almost 2.5 months. Pat Kelly was out for 3 months with a broken wrist, and Rostik was out for almost 2.5 months with a stress fracture in his foot. So for those guys to continue to battle on each and every day, it's really hard when you're sitting out, and to be committed to what we're trying to do here and continue to get better and better, which Rostik has done and Abdu has done and Pat Kelly has done and Zach Riley, and that's all we can ask of these guys. We got a lot to be proud of, and we got a lot to build on.
You touched on the seniors, and you talked about the buy-in that they were able to give you guys. Of course, some of laying that foundation just comes with winning. That is so important in year one. To get the effort that you got from Chuba Ohams throughout the duration of this season, the first All A-10 Fordham Ram in 6 years. What do you say about him?
I mean, we can't ask anything more. I mean, the kid's been playing on one leg for most of the season. I mean, he was out for 3 games, and he just continued to battle. Couldn't practice all that much. I mean, there were a number of practices in the last 2.5 months that we didn't even have 9 guys to go full court with. So you got to give credit to him. Every day he showed up like a pro, like a senior, continued to buy in, continued to try to lead, and that's not easy to do when you've been around for that long. And so, again, we cannot say enough about him. And, he's a legend in our eyes. And hopefully he wants to come back for years to come. We want him back. We want him to continue to help build this thing, talk to our young guys, and he's someone we all look up to.
Now, I know you guys, you don't look at the outside noise, anything like that, but this was a team that was picked 14th in the A-10 in the preseason. Yeah. You guys exceeded all those expectations, went 500, when many on the outside didn't think you could do it. Just your overall, message as you go to this offseason, how winning in year one, how exceeding those expectations can build a foundation for the future.
Yeah, you know what? We talk about it all the time. We're used to winning from where we come from. So, there are no moral victories in our locker room, and but it does take winning and not understanding how to do that over and over and over again. And what we got to continue to learn from the spring and the summer is back-to-backs, right? Down in Florida, we won our first game, lost our second. In those preseason tournaments, right? And then when you get to playoff time, you got to be able to be mature enough, and you got to get used to winning. You got to believe when you step on the floor, no matter who it is, you don't expect to lose. And that's something that takes a little bit of time. And guys got to get used to that. And I think they felt that. They know what it is to win, specifically in some close games, which we were able to do. We had a great crowd the last game at Rose Hill. Hopefully that continues and just gets better and better. Our home court advantage will lead us to many more. And our guys continued to learn throughout the season. We were the best team we could be by the end of the year. And that's what we preached all year long to you guys, to our team, to everybody. That's what we want to be. There is no question in our minds. We were the best team we were capable of being by the end of the year, and that's what we're going to look forward to next year as well.
Coach, appreciate the time today and all season. Congrats on a successful run.
Thanks, fellas. You guys did a great job all year long, man.
Appreciate it. That Fordham Associate Head Coach Keith Ergo wrapping up the season here at Capital One Arena. Fordham falls in the A-10 quarterfinal, their first appearance since 2007 to Davidson, 74-56, the final. A lot that we can get into with this game, but just overall, the broader picture, a lot to like from the first season under head coach Kyle Neptune, and the foundation seemingly laid. Can build on it for years to come.
And we know they don't talk about moral victories, but Fordham went 500 this year, and that is, for people to pay attention to this program, that's a big deal compared to what they've been. So there really is a buy-in. You can see it from the players. They didn't have the talent of these other 8-10 teams. They finished 8th. They didn't have the 8th most talent in the conference, I wouldn't say. But because of how hard they played, because of how bought in they were to this culture, they were able to exceed what a lot of people on the outside thought. So I think overall, there's just a lot of good feeling around this program and what they can continue to build.
Before we head out here from Capital One Arena, certainly want to extend a number of thank yous at the conclusion of the season. Fordham Athletic Director Ed Cole, who's been so great with us throughout this campaign. Joe DeBerry, who's Sports and Information Director, who's been so kind to us, helping us out with any number of things on any number of trips throughout the duration of this season. Our sports director, Bobby Chaffardini, for helping us out, getting us on the air and getting us able to stay there throughout this season. And Alex Wolz, our sports manager, producing today's game, who has been so essential to what we have been able to do. Our producers, everyone who's joined the broadcast this season. Mike Calamari comes to mind. Ryan Gregware, you as well. It's been a blast, my friend, and really appreciate everything this year.
Of course you, Nick. It's been a blast really doing these games with you, getting close with you, watching this team, talking about the team. You're a great person. You're a great broadcaster.
Well, I appreciate that, and certainly our thanks to MIke Messina wrapping up his Fordham career here as well, producing for us, and it's been a fun ride, and certainly a lot to be optimistic about. Our thanks to the Fordham basketball program, too. A lot of help there from those guys, and to help us do what we do. It wouldn't happen without Kyle Neptune and his staff. On the conclusion, always sour, but a lot to like from year one under Kyle Neptune, and feel like this is a program that is in great hands for years to come. So with that, It'll wrap it up for us from Capital One Arena. Once again, the final score, Davidson 74, Fordham 56. As they're bounced in the A-10 quarterfinal, their first appearance since 2007. Back to our Rose Hill studios for the conclusion of the one-on-one post-game report.
Welcome back into our Rose Hill studios. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Ryan, for a great season broadcasting the men's basketball games for us. MIke Calamari here with Dylan Balsamo, and I think it's easy to fixate on the final score, Fordham losing this one 74-56 to the Davidson Wildcats, but I don't think that sums up the season that Fordham had. They came into this one ranked last in the A-10 in the preseason poll, end up going 500 in the regular season, picking up a win against George Mason to advance them to the quarterfinals, and they end the year 16-16, and there's so much to like about what this team has become under first-year head coach Kyle Neptune. Dylan, I'm just really excited for the future of this team more so than anything right now.
So much to be excited about future-wise, Michael. And, we just heard a few really nice words there from Keith Urgo, the associate head coach under Kyle Neptune, just talking about how proud he is of these guys and how proud they are as a squad of what they've been able to accomplish. The 16-16 overall record, that's hard. That's really hard to do for any program, let alone one that is under a first-year head coach, was under a really dismal period in their history, and was picked 14th overall in the conference in the preseason. So, there was a lot of things that were stacked against them. That's a lot of pressure, too, coming into this thing, to be a men's basketball program and to want to be the center of attention on a campus. And I would argue they really were, living on campus this year. And, there was a lot of pressure coming in of what this first year under Neptune was going to be like, and they were still picked to finish 14th. So, there was butting head opinion of what this season was going to be like, but you got to be happy with how it turned out.
You have to be ecstatic, really. I think this was the first time in a while, at least in my memory, where there was some sort of excitement around Fordham men's basketball hoops because they've had such a lack of success in the past few years. And Coach Kyle Neptune has brought a new energy to the program. And I think there were numerous times this season where you went into the games thinking this is a game we are going to win. And I think in the past that has not been the feeling around, this team in particular. And Coach Keith Urgo talked about it in the post game that now it's an expectation this team can win. And that's what they need to build on, the expectation of winning. And I think we're going to get to a place in the next few years where you're really excited about this team every single game they go into. They have the capability of winning. Obviously, the team did not have a great showing today against Davidson, but that was not a good, summary of their entire year. They have beaten good teams game in and game out. They have also lost some games that they probably wish they had won, but it's the first year under a new head coach in Kyle Neptune, and it's a direction of the program. You're building to something, and I know maybe I'm repeating myself, but I think that just is how excited we are, as students of this program, that there is a real good potential in its future.
Absolutely so. And, I'm really looking forward to what the broadcasts are going to look like for you and Ryan Gregware and our friends, Sam Davis and Andrew Galata and whoever will be at the helm of Fordham basketball, both men's and women's next year, to see what these broadcasts will be like. I'm very excited to see what you guys are going to do. But you mentioned that, that energy around campus of the things you want to see from Fordham basketball. And, that really helps with the fact that they went 10-4 at home this season. So those home games,
and
obviously
a lot
they
of
were
those
games
without fans.
Yeah, so a lot of those without fans. But in terms of the games that did have fans present, that's really important to win those games, to bring that energy up on campus, and they were certainly able to do that. But something I wanted to touch upon that we just heard Urgo talk about was, being proud of the seniors, and specifically being proud of guys like Chuba Ohams, who had faith in this program when, quite frankly, there were times where there was no reason for him to. Mm-hmm. And he stuck with this program during a really difficult transition, and here he is being at the helm of this process of moving from one era of Fordham basketball into another, and, hopefully, and I would argue even at this point, a better one. So, there's a lot to be happy about with those guys and the faith that they had in this program. And if they had faith in this program, then why shouldn't the rest of us?
I 100% agree, and although they won't be coming back, they did take this program to a place that after their time here at Fordham University, the whole school, the whole basketball program, the whole men's basketball program is going to benefit from the work they did this year, and I think they've done an exceptional job being leaders and stepping up to what they've been this year. Both guys who have exceeded expectations, so there's just so much to talk about with this Fordham men's basketball team. Again, they don't get the win done today against Davidson, but the 6th season, a resounding success. But once again, that will do it for us in the Rose Hill Studios. Fordham falls in their A-10 season finale to Davidson 74-56. A big thank you to the Fordham Sports Information Director Joe DeBerry and Fordham Athletic Director Ed Cole for all their support throughout the season. The sports director of WFV is Bobby Chaffardini. Our on-site producer is MIke Messina, while Alex Wools held down the production in the studio. Until next time, for myself, Dylan Balsamo with the updates, and our broadcasters Nick DeLuca and Ryan Gregware, I'm Michael Calamari. Have a great afternoon, everybody.